All right.
Here we go. You're good.
Oh, you're such a tease, all of you. All right. Well, let's give this a shot, shall we? Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Real Time Car Show. Just ahead, we talk with the regional OnStar manager, Mr. Bradley Nelson.
The app has its sensors, accelerometer, and so forth in the phone, so it detects when you are in a moving vehicle. I think at about 5 miles per hour, it'll detect that you're in a moving vehicle, and when those sensors are alerted that there's something, I guess jarred would be an easy word to say, but when those sensors
say,
I was going to say, in this case, Big Brother's watching over you, not necessarily watching you.
That's right.
They're there trying to oversee what's going on in the vehicle, and if something's happening bad, then they can dispatch help.
So, Brad, how much does this app cost?
So it's actually $15 a month, $14.99 a month, and again, so you can share that with up 7 more family members.
Oh, wow!
More friends
for the $15 a month.
Members or friends.
Wow.
So for an entire family, for $15 a month, I can make sure that I know where my kid is, and my kid is okay, and they haven't gotten in a wreck somewhere.
Yeah, and if your kid, his battery doesn't start that morning, he has the app too. You shared it with him. He's not paying for it. You're paying the $15 a month, but he goes ahead, and now we will come out.
You're going someplace and doing something Dad doesn't want you to know about.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, you don't want that. No, don't turn it off. You turn it off, I'm coming to find you.
Well, so another question, Brad, is the OnStar packages of the past. There was kind of a tiered package from safety and security all the way up to like a concierge level. Is that still available through the new app?
So we actually still have all those tiered packages with our vehicle owners. We offer our vehicle owners different packages and different things with Wi-Fi data and all that type of stuff, premium packages. But on the app, no. The app is just one package, and it does include everything. So I don't know kind of what it would cost, and that's your decision.
But you still will dispatch the wrecker, make sure it's a reputable wrecker company that's capable of towing whatever type of vehicle you're driving, because, to tow a Honda Accord is different than towing a Chevrolet Corvette. They have to, the correct wrecker has to be dispatched out.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. So, well, that's good to know is, that they're going to dispatch the correct wrecker for the service. Yeah, there's going to be a fee involved, but there's going to be a fee involved anyhow. Well, the other thing is, for $15 a month, that's a heck of a value.
I think
you got
so
4 or
too.
5 people in the family, and you're knocking it down to $2-3 a head to get something like this.
So what if my child gets lost, in a neighborhood that they're not familiar with, and can get OnStar help me get out of that neighborhood?
Yeah, I'm not sure how well that is now. If he's yes, they can, and I think they can notify you, so you're on there with him. So if he hits that blue button, says, "Hey, I'm not sure where I am," they may notify you, because you can see him also on your phone.
Right.
And so you can see where he is and so forth. So because I know, like, when there's been some accidents, actually, like at the so forth, their first thing is not to call everybody else that's on that list. But once they're kind of talking with the person, says, "Well, I'm okay, but the car's not drivable, and the ambulance is on the way to check me out. Could you call so-and-so?" And then we make that call. We connect them with whoever it is on the thing. So, yes, I think we would help him go through that. It's not like a turn-by-turn direction thing, but we would help him.
Help him get out. And another thing, and I'm not asking for who the provider is, but I know in the past, OnStar has always associated with a pretty high-level wrecker service. So generally, the dispatch times are relatively short. That you're not going to chucking a truck that's 4 hours away that's got to drive to you because he's enrolled in the OnStar program. It's going to be a large association of wreckers, so typically they can get to you in a relatively good time. Do you have any history yet to say what your wrecker dispatch time is?
Now that's correct. We're really utilizing the same provider that we utilize for our new vehicles,
okay.
Conrad. So we're using the same provider. You're right, they have contracts set up throughout the country. So it does a little bit depend on the geography and the area that you're in. So, I would say in most places in today's world, we have great where we can locate one very closely. But of course, we have areas of West Texas, New Mexico, and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
We need to make sure that we have a good relationship or a contract with one or two tow services, because very reliant upon them.
Yeah, because out in Guyman, Oklahoma, it could be chucking a truck.
Yeah, for sure.
It Tow-Mater.
That does happen.
Yeah. Well, so when do you think that you'll have some really sound data? This is such a new deal. You really don't know just yet how it's going to go. Are you giving it 30, 60, 90 days?
Yeah, I think longer. I think we are in a launch phase for sure right now in July. In OnStar, we built such a strong membership and business. We have 16 million members with our OnStar.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is probably, I'm going to just throw out a number. I'm guessing, maybe we have 100,000 Guardian app members right now. I'm sure we're into the millions before we, this is meant to cover millions of people. So we're probably very early on this. I would say longer than a 30, 60, 90 day to see if we shouldn't be making a few changes here and there. So far, the reception's just been really well received.
Well, we're a fan already and haven't even downloaded the app yet, but I promise you that this sounds like a brilliant thing. All we need is a little marketing and some advertising on the In-Wheel Time show, and we'll have all of our listeners joining.
And every one of them send $1.
Yeah, that's send $1. Soupy sales.
Soupy sales.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's a great idea, and it's nice to see that GM's expanding OnStar through a phone app, and that's just new technology for everybody.
Bradley, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Thanks, and we'll be checking back with you to see how things are going.
For sure. Do that, and thank you all.
All right.
Thanks,
Take care.
Bye.
Bradley Nelson, he's the regional OnStar manager up there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that covers our region here in Houston, Texas. So that's very good. All right. Time now for the racing calendar.
Woo-hoo.
Conrad usually has the racing calendar right there on his
this weekend.
fingertips.
NHRA's at Sonoma, and Erica Enders will be back in play because Pro Stock didn't run in Denver, which
kind
was
of a
weird.
jacked up mess was that?
I don't know. I thought that was kind of, how can you win the Western Swing if you don't race in all three of the events? But anyhow, and then again, Winter Nationals in Pomona in August 1st.
That's weird.
Yeah, don't get me going. NASCAR's at Watkins Glen on the 8th of August. They're at Indianapolis on the 14th of August. Michigan on the 22nd of August, and then Daytona on the 28th of August. So they've got every weekend they are going to be
Daytona in August.
Well, they've always done. Used to be they did the Firecracker
4th of July.
They did Firecracker 400. This year they did.
No, Firecracker 400 was in Carolinas, wasn't it?
No. That was always Daytona.
Daytona.
Okay.
It was always Daytona on the 4th of July weekend. This year they did the Road America thing on that weekend, and they switched the Daytona event to the end of August, which is just smoking hot in Florida.
Smoking hot.
Oh, yeah.
And then Hungarian Grand Prix is August 1st. And then the Belgian Grand Prix is August 29th. So that's their 3-week session of summer off in F1. IMSA is Road America on the 8th, and then VIR, Virginia International Raceway, on August 22nd. Indy Cars next weekend August 8th is the Streets of Nashville. First time they've been there. And then on the 14th, they're going to do the road course at Indianapolis. And that's in association with the NASCAR guys. And then on the 21st, they're going to be in St. Louis at Gateway Motorsports Park.
Did you mention Formula One?
Yeah, I did mention Formula One. And then
You
August.
weren't paying attention.
But I'm done with Formula One.
Okay.
You just take that off the list.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. And then August 21st is the 24-hour Le Mans.
Le Mans.
Not Lemons. Not that Richard Tomlin goes to. This is 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Time now for the
Escargot.
In-Wheel Time Car Show Pre-Owned Car of the Week
Hot
review.
diggity, it's about
and I
time.
am proud to say that Jeffrey, we need more Jeff Zekin right here.
And the only way we could get him smart was to do this?
Has the 2019 Smart Car. And by the way, there is absolutely nothing smart about the Smart Car.
Well,
but
I want to tell you.
Jeff Zekin is going to give us all the lowdown.
Here we go. Here's my thing. See
we
that
need
thing?
more
There
Jeff.
you go.
Just do the car
All right.
review.
So this is a 2019 Smart 4.2. It's offered in two configurations, the Coupe or Coupe.
Is that like a half a 442?
No, it's a 4.2. That's what they call it. Coupe and a convertible. With a handful of trims between them, the Coupe is available in Pure, Passion, and Prime, which are all adjectives for Conrad, in the trim levels. The convertible version is available in Passion and trim levels also. Okay, do that. Adjust it. There you go. Perfect.
Thank you.
The base Pure Coupe are equipped with both cloth upholstery. They have 15-inch steel wheel covers. Power features include automatic climate control, 3.5-inch display for infotainment with Bluetooth connectivity.
I want to go back to the 15-inch steel wheel covers.
Yeah, steel wheel covers, yeah.
Let's talk about those.
I left my car back in the 80s.
There you go. The base coupes don't offer many optional extras, but there you go. You got your little wheel covers.
There you go. You can see them there.
The top-of-the-line Prime versions add heated and height-adjustable seats.
Why?
The 15-inch alloy wheels, a sunroof, brand new. Right now, you can get one if you find them. They're around $9,000 to $11,000.
They'll pay me $9,000 to take
well,
one?
I don't know if you got to use one. You might get $40 for it now.
You know what I think we
Take
should
the chip
do
out
is
of it.
we should go and we could probably snap up all of them for next to nothing because nobody wants them, both of them.
The Mercedes-
And we could start a new racing league out at Houston Motorsports Park with Gina Child Knowles and race smart cars.
No, because the whole show is generally over by 9 o'clock. I don't think 14 smart cars could go 10 laps in 4 hours.
So make it a 10-lap race. Mercedes-Benz used to put these on their lots, and instead of golf carts, they would take the doors off them and use those to take customers to the vehicle out on the floor plan, out on the drive.
You know,
so they used to use them as golf carts.
I never had one on the press fleet, but I did drive one at one of the Texas Auto Rider events. First time I drove one, top speed on it at the time was 60 miles an hour.
Well, there you go.
It
81
is,
on the highway.
I've really never dissed any car that bad, but I tell you what, that one is not. Why did they build that car? It's a European car that they brought to the United States.
Pretty much.
That made absolutely no sense here whatsoever.
There's more.
Europe and Japan do the micro cars.
There's more to the article that I did not read, but Austin has the most in the state of Texas.
That's a perfect place for them.
Keeping it weird.
Yep.
And I really thought that whenever they went there that it wasn't a bad idea because you could put two of them in a parking space.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to tell everybody that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on your favorite podcast channel. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Winning the highest sales satisfaction award among all luxury brands from J.D. Power in 2020 tells you everything you need to know about your Lincoln purchase from Bayway. Bayway Lincoln is where a premium buying experience is a priority, and you're invited to feel it yourself. This Houstonian-owned premier dealership is managed by Lincoln Stahl, a seasoned member of the Bayway family. If it's online, in person, or in your own driveway, Bayway gets you to the luxury level you deserve. Bayway Lincoln is on the Gulf Freeway at Fuquay, just inside Beltway 8. Visit BaywayLincoln.com today. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipe Coast at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Wheel Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your go-to all things automotive place. Coming up this segment, Conrad has the car clinic. We'll talk with the Northside Mustang Club goddess, Mr. Randy Weldon. And we'll look at this week's automotive news.
There you go.
Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars,
There he
King
is.
Conrad DeLong.
There he is.
We need more Jeff Zekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. And we're back in the studio after last week was Tailpipes and Tacos. Week before that, you were here, and I was over in Mobile, Alabama.
Right.
Yeah,
And we didn't even talk about my trip. Not much, anyway.
Well, we talked during the commercial.
Yeah. So I just wanted to tell you that I-10 sucks. In case anybody had any doubt in their minds, I just wanted to let you know it's bad. And going there, it rained on and off all the way there.
Aren't you
all
glad
the
you
way.
washed your
Did you?
car?
No, I did not.
Did you go across 12? You know, from where 10
12
drops
side.
down.
Yes,
Take
I
the
did.
high
That will
side.
come up in a segment we got later on. We're going to talk about that Highway 12.
Yeah, well, you know, there's several problems with I-10. One is construction over in the Beaumont area, as we all know.
It's my
I don't know
fault.
how you deal
It's
with it.
perpetual. I don't go there.
Well, he doesn't. He comes through
So
Winnie.
whatever. So there's that, and then there's some other construction spots along I-10. But the most bizarre of all is you're traveling along 70, 80 miles an hour. You got cars
bebopping
passing you,
along.
just doing your own thing.
Minding your own
and then
business.
all of a sudden, everything comes to a stop
For no apparent reason.
for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
There must be a cup in the road or something.
No, because Boudreaux up there figured he'd stop and count the gators off the bridge.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing.
Him and
And this
Thibodeau
this
getting
happened
arguing.
happened about a half a dozen times. Stopped on I-10 for no reason. No wreck, no construction, no nothing. It just stops.
I'm going to go wrestle that alligator.
Traffic backs up. This morning, 4:30 this morning, I'm coming through Anahuac, and I'm doing 40 miles an hour because of the traffic. For some reason, that's all it would do. And
4:30 in the morning on I-10 on a Saturday. Is traffic?
Yes, I'm telling you, this morning it was
two
really
cars?
weird. Once I got to the Old and Lost River, coming into Mount Bellevue, we were back up to 80 miles an hour.
Oh, my.
It is the most bizarre thing I have ever seen. And where are the police? Nowhere to be found
Well-
except in Mississippi.
Well, I said Louisiana, you don't want to find them.
And they're way over on the shoulder.
Waiting for
and
you
they're
to go
just
blowing
sitting there,
by.
and guess what happens?
Yeah.
Everybody comes up on him. Oh, there's a cop. Let's all stop.
So how long did it take you?
Going
What's the normal?
9.5 hours. Normal is 7.
Normally 7. Okay.
Of course, I did make one wrong turn.
Well,
How can you make a wrong turn? You get on 10
on
and go
I-10.
and go till you hit the ocean.
I missed 12.
Oh, so you went through
So we went to
downtown?
New Orleans.
Almost.
Oh, gosh.
I'm thinking, wait a minute. That certainly is a big city that I'm not familiar with along I-10 and 12.
Oh, look, it's the Mercedes Superdome that they just took the name off of.
So that was 1 hour. But the other hour and a half was rain and these bizarre stops along the way.
yeah. Wow.
And every 18-wheeler in the United States is on I-10.
oh,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Coast to
What's
coast.
a major coast? Yeah, it's a major
Yeah,
highway
it's an artery.
and so many sections of it are really just 2 lanes each direction.
Yes.
It's not like it's a 3 or 4
And they're
lane.
not. There doesn't seem to be any effort to make the freeway just 1 lane wider.
Oh, that.
And if they want to do that, we can't do it that way. We're going to have to rip out that entire section and start all over.
Yep.
Right.
Why?
Because the contractor is related to the governor.
No, that's when you get into the federal. When you get out there, you're talking about feds.
Yeah.
So the contractor is related to the senator.
Yeah, that's where you need to be.
She-Jack. Time now for
Before we go too far.
Before we go to, let's check in with our dear friend,
Let's do
Mr.
that.
Randy Weldon,
Pushing the button.
with the Northside Mustang Club.
There he
Randy,
is.
it's a pleasure to see you. It's been a while. How the heck are you?
Doing good, Don. About yourself,
Well-
other than the trip to Mobile.
Yeah, well, I mean, once I got to Mobile, it was great. And the race there, fantastic. Listen, a half-mile racetrack, that 1/8
difference.
mile between a 3/8 mile and a half mile.
Big difference.
Huge difference. What a track that is. I love it. And all of the racers from everywhere around there, including a few Houston racers, were
Showed
there.
up.
And their pit is in the middle of the track.
Well, it's a big enough
You
track,
could not squeeze another car in there.
Wow.
That place was packed.
So did you do the interviews in the winter circle?
No, I did not. Actually, I did color with my good friend Rodney Rodriguez.
Oh, very
Did
good.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be fun. I would
yeah,
think.
and that was a Facebook feed. So maybe somebody got to see it. I don't know.
Well, I didn't know that. I would have watched if I'd have known that.
Hey, Randy, I've got 4 of your Mustang friends telling me on Facebook you have to turn in your Mustang card.
Uh-oh.
You're not allowed to represent Mustang anymore because
Uh-oh.
you got an AMC Rambler up over your shoulder.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
On the calendar.
No, there's no. Oh well, that's
Busted!
Rip it down.
yeah. But that's from Parsons Differentials. Cliff Parsons, who's the president of Wild Horse Mustang Club, has a differential shop over in Beaumont.
Well,
So
he
if
needs to
some
turn his card in,
rear
too.
end work done. I think they call him the proctologist to the cars.
Oh.
Really?
Well, Don needs that
Yes.
help right now.
Yeah, there's
Eddie.
that. But the other thing that I find interesting is the fact that he didn't happen to have a Mustang, a picture of a Mustang that he'd placed the rear end in.
Well, you should see the picture on the other calendar that he gave me, and we can't put that on camera. So.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, totally. Well,
Hey, by the way, you didn't mention everybody's favorite 55 mile an hour Atchafalaya Bridge.
oh,
Atchafalaya?
Atchafalaya.
Atchafalaya.
Yeah, well,
Whatever they're calling it this week, or whatever I can't pronounce.
Oh, my.
well, there is that, and it was there, and it's still the same that it always has been. Start and stop, and spits and spurts all the way across the bridge for days.
I want to apologize to our Louisiana listeners. Send your comments to
Who cares?
Mars at In Real
.com.
Time.
No, info at InWheelTime.com. Don't send them to me.
So I understand there's a big Mustang event, National Mustang event going on this weekend.
There is up in Kansas City.
Cool.
And by the way, I've moved to the Montgomery County Automotive Enthusiast Club now, which I did about a year ago. But Tracy Templer is one of our members, and Tracy's also on the national board of the Mustang Club of America with me. I had to work this week, so I couldn't go to the show, but Tracy's up there representing us.
Okay. Yeah, Jason, and I can't ever pronounce his last name.
Scaturo.
Yeah, okay.
What you said.
He was out at Tailpipes and Tacos last weekend representing is that his wife that's got the sister car?
That's his girlfriend,
Okay.
Katie Zimmel.
Soon to be wife.
Soon to be his wife.
Oh, yeah, and those guys need to get married.
So would you please run that by me that you're no longer with the Northside Mustang Club?
Yeah, I ran 2 terms, Don, and in my opinion, it's only fair to a club to change and get new ideas in from time to time.
Sure.
So they've got a new president.
You're still
I
a
went
member,
brain
though.
dead on you. Mike, I can't remember. Mike Group is the new president of Northside. This age group, man, comes to me like 2 days later.
So, but you've been doing Montgomery County now for, you said, about a year, which is kind of a new group, a new club. But you guys,
it is. It was, it was open to. It's open to all makes and models. So it's everything. Corvettes, Camaros, Dodge, Chrysler, whatever. We don't care. As long as you like cars, come on.
And you guys support the meet out on 59 and 99, is that correct?
We do the 99-59 meet on Fridays. Yep.
So it's the Montgomery County Auto Enthusiasts Club.
That's correct.
Wow. Okay. Well, so how is it rubbing elbows with somebody from, the Camaro Club and the former Camaro Club and former Corvette Club people. We're all in this together, and we all enjoy each other's company. I'm just giving you a hard time here, but that is quite a change, though, really.
It's a big change, but what we were trying to do is pull all the groups together and get them to work together to benefit the city more. The big thing's still giving back to the city. So the events that we do are primarily for charity.
Right.
And, we like getting together. So like TWCC, we're working with Dana Pritchard's club there and with All American Muscle.
Coffee and Cars for a Cause.
Yes. And in the process, we got involved with Conroe Cruisers. Just placed a call and said, hey, we heard you're working together with other clubs to make the events bigger and better and to deliver a better impact to the community. And that's what we're trying to do.
And you can tell Randy Weldon is into change because he's wearing his Chief Wahoo hat for the Cleveland, what is it? The Guardians?
Not Gonads.
Yeah.
Guardians. I'm sorry.
That change will never fly with me. Chief Wahoo will live forever.
Again, send your comments to
info@inwheeltime.com.
The Guardians.
Yeah.
The Guardians.
Actually, I like your name a lot better, and I'd probably get a lot more press. I'm sure.
Like our previous guests had the Guardian system.
That's right. See, we're all on it. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, the Guardians. I mean,
so what's the next big event? And I know your 59 and 99 meet is every Friday night, but what's the next big event you guys have on the schedule?
Well, what we started last month, working in conjunction with Alec Udall and his dad and grandpa.
Perfect.
Is we put on a monthly event, and unfortunately it fell on the third Saturday of every month, the same time as tacos and tailpipes. But that's at the Houston Karting Complex. So we have a cruise in out there from 9 a.m. to 12, because I don't like to get up too early. and then we also started a little karting race league that'll run through December. In December, we'll give an overall award for the fastest lap time out there. But that's kind of cool because Alec actually comes out whenever he's in town and has the time.
I would think he'd be the fastest because he gets lots of track time up there, but I doubt he's in the competition.
We take his lap time out, yes.
And when he's there, because he's been running the GT4 Mercedes and the Lamborghini Trofeo quite a bit lately. I'm real glad. Not only did he get a ride, he's got two pretty high level rides right now. We're gonna have him on the show here in the next couple of weeks to chit chat about his success this year.
Yeah.
So,
the other thing, Conrad, we've got coming up is we got connected through you guys actually through the Houston Community College.
Yep.
So their 50th anniversary car show / cruise-in event that'll take place August 24th. We'll be helping them put that on.
Yeah, David's going to join us in a week or two and talk about that car show and the fall semester for the automotive program and what all they've done added to and what they're getting ready to do. So he'll be joining us in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, now they actually have two campuses that are pretty well equipped doing automotive training. And right now, I'll tell you, in my side of the business, in the car business, everybody's looking for technicians. So there's just not enough of them out there. And there's not enough really skilled ones. So, it's good to see them trying to feed that technician into the community and get them working. Get these shops with some skilled techs in them. It's hard enough to do.
They've been turning out technicians, I guess, now for 50 years.
Yep. And there's some pretty high-level guys that have gone through that program. What is it? A Helfman Chrysler at 610 and 610 and I-10, their service manager, shop foreman came through that program there. A very, very skilled guy, well known from the Chrysler reps as far as being technically adept at working on and repairing the Mopar products, FCA products, FCA, Stellantis.
Stellantis.
What's the name this week?
Stellantis.
Stellantis.
We've got another event coming up. I may be the lone Mustang that takes part in this, but the Camaro group over in Katy have organized a little cruise into Brenham for hot tunes and cool nights or whatever it is. The name of that event that's downtown. They shut down all of downtown and have live music acts out there.
Can Don Armstrong bring his Corvette?
Absolutely.
Yes, please. Hey, open to everything.
When is that?
It's July 31st.
Oh, it's right.
A week from today.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Yes, sir.
That might be kind of cool. That's
Well,
in the evening.
In the evening, July 31st.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
where do we
added
get
to the
more
invite
information on that? You got a flyer or something?
No, it was a private invite, but I'll get you an invite to it.
Private invite. So, in other words, we're not invited after all.
Yeah. You can
Yeah,
come.
no, it's actually open to the public. It's made public invite on a I don't know. I got to go look at the Facebook page. It had pictures. Dawn looked at it. And
is there an entry
grasped a
fee
few
or
things.
a cost to get in? An entry fee? Trophies?
No, actually, no. There's no fee to get into this to go downtown.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty cool. Sounds like Brandon will be hopping next Saturday night.
Hope it don't rain.
Have y'all never taken part in this?
No.
Just first we
I'll
heard
have
about
to
it.
get the name of the car club for you, but there's a car club that actually takes over a segment of downtown, and they park the cars and have a little cruise-in car show, and then you walk into the town square just off the courthouse area, and they've got a live band. They've got it all shut down and blocked off, and people
That's
just
a
pull
good idea.
chairs out and enjoy the music.
You and I could go on a date.
There you go.
Again.
But you have to go in the Corvette because you can't go in the Oldsmobile
I was
because it
gonna
won't
say.
start.
I know, because he won't get the
I still
ignition
haven't got
switch
it.
fixed.
It's just time and effort more
It's,
than anything.
Well,
else.
it's a
Hey, I
GM
got the
ignition switch,
I
right?
got
Exactly.
yes, it is. But it wasn't recalled 3 times.
It's becoming a unicorn.
But I got the generator running this week.
Conrad, it just hasn't caught on fire yet.
no thermal
Yeah,
events.
that's right. I think that was George Skelton was saying something about Bolt is going to be the official car, and it's just on fire.
The Bolt. Yeah, exactly. So, what's next for you, Randy? What's the most immediate thing that we can join up with the Montgomery County Auto Enthusiast Club?
Well, the very next thing we'll have is TWCC. That's the first Sunday of every month. And then following that will be the Houston Karting Complex Cruise-In, which will be the third Saturday of every month. But you guys are busy that morning.
Yeah.
Busy every Saturday morning.
Well, third Saturday in particular.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you
Photography.
can't send people from the north side or from Huntsville or Willis, over to the Houston Karting Complex.
What you
We'll be
talking
happy to
about,
send them
Willis?
over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's Danny?
Annie's great. You know what? The little puppy this morning. I'll be nice. She went back and got in bed.
Oh, smart dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she got up
Suze is
and went
laying down
outside for a treat, but then she opted back to the bed.
Yeah.
Well, Randy, it's always great to touch base with you. We love you, and good luck on the Montgomery County Auto Enthusiast Club Facebook page for that.
Yep.
There is a Facebook page. You can put in the the @ sign above the
Yeah.
number 2, @fun with MCAE.
Okay.
All right,
It'll take you to the page.
you're the man. We hope to see you here in the next couple of weeks.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity to see you guys and talk to you again.
Take
Always.
care.
Thanks, Randy.
Randy Weldon, Montgomery County Auto Enthusiasts Club. Remember that. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. All you have to do is just shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. You can send anything that you want
Careful.
because Mars,
Send it to info. You can send anything you want.
because Mars gets to open it on
Yeah.
his computer, not mine. All right, time now for Conrad's Car Clinic.
All right.
Do I even ask what we're going to talk about today?
DCTs.
DCTs. We
Remember
had a
that?
bad case of those this week.
Yeah, penicillin helps that, doesn't
He's
it?
got ointment for that.
Oh,
In fact, that's the word of the
Well,
day.
you're going to have to go to Beaumont and get that rear end doctor. Well, last week we talked about CVTs, continuously variable transmission. This week we're
STDs.
going to talk about DCT, which is dual clutch transmission.
Ugh.
So a dual clutch transmission is relatively new, but not quite. Many manufacturers using their own trademark names. Volkswagen uses DSG, BMW's DCT, Hyundai calls it EcoShift, Mercedes calls it Sport Shift, Ford calls it Power Shift. Actually, Ford calls a Wrecker and then calls it Power Shift. Porsche calls it PDK, Audi calls it S-Tronic, Alfa calls it TCT. A dual clutch transmission is one approach to an automatic transmission. But if you think about it, it's kind of two manual transmissions that are computer shifted. Don't worry about it. That are computer shifted. So it has 2 clutches in it, and each clutch is attached to clutch 1 is attached to all of the odd numbered gears. Clutch 2 is attached to all the even numbered gears. So it's looking to upshift or downshift electronically for you and operate the clutch, so you don't have to step on a pedal on it. Very effective transmission
If it works.
when it works. Yeah, dual clutch. They shift smoother than a single automated manual clutch, but typically don't shift as smooth as a conventional automatic transmission, because an automatic transmission is designed to slip a little bit as the gear engage. A DCT is just like a manual transmission, and that when that gear engages, it engages.
I knew somebody that had a Ford Focus that had that in it. And
call a wrecker.
That's exactly what we had to do.
Ford got
twice.
Ford got in huge trouble over it. They had a class action lawsuit that they lost on that, and everybody got a little bit of money, and the attorneys got rich. But one of the issues with dual clutch transmissions, you can only stuff a limited number of gears inside a DCT, where a conventional automatic with a couple of 3 planetary gear sets, you can get up to 10 forward gears. With a DCT, to get 10 forward gears, you'd need 10 gear sets inside of it to get there.
Huge.
So it makes the transmission a little large and unruly. The 2018 Ford Focus vehicle with the optional 6-speed DCT transmission has real fuel economy benefits, which is one of the finer points of a DCT. Is you can get better fuel economy with a DCT because you don't have that slippage of a torque converter, and you don't have that slippage as the gear applies. So you can get minimal fuel economy improvements, but 1/10 of a mile, 2/10 of a mile is still an improvement. Again, without a torque converter in it is what gets the extra fuel economy. Let's see, means when one. Oh, okay, yeah. So I lost my spot. I printed it too
Prevagen.
small. So with a dual clutch transmission, the car essentially has 2 manual transmissions working together, which means while one gear is engaged, the next one is waiting for the computer to shift to, and that it helps the economy side, but it really helps on the performance side. You'll see a lot of real high performance cars are going to have a dual clutch transmission, and the reason for that is the computer can shift faster than a person can manually shift. So you're talking, micro tenths of a second to shift the gears, where you as a human might take a couple of tenths of a second.
If it works, it works great. If it doesn't work, it does not work.
Wow.
It's interesting because the first DCT to reach production was called the Easy Drive transmission, introduced on the 1961 Hillman Minx. And that was one of the pictures we had, but I guess it didn't pop up. But the first modern era DCT transmission was actually in the Volkswagen Golf R32, which is a screaming hot rod of a Volkswagen. That was the one with the 3.2 liter V6 in it. Dual clutch transmissions have had reliability problems all along. Like I said earlier, Ford has faced lawsuits, class action lawsuits for their dual clutch transmissions in their car, and owners have reported problems with DCTs as well in the Acura TLX. But there's advantages and disadvantages to all of these various transmissions that are out there. Packaging on a DCT is not as compact as the packaging on a CVT, but it is more compact than packaging on a fully automatic transmission.
Cool.
No, it's not.
I think it's cool.
If I had a choice, just give me a regular automatic transmission that doesn't have to hunt for gears because it's got enough power.
They all hunt.
If it's got enough power, they don't have to hunt.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, if there's enough torque in the engine, they can minimize the hunting.
Right. And or you can shift it yourself.
Right.
I prefer shifting it myself.
Hence your Corvette.
Yes.
Exactly.
And the new Corvettes don't have a DCT. They have an automatic, a regular automatic, that you have a manual shifter in.
Maybe one of these days I'm going to get that Corvette if the press people stop ruining it, wrecking it, messing it up. What?
I always have, because
it's your fault.
No, because where I'm at, I don't get the Corvettes because it's too many miles on it to bring it to me. Well, here, not long ago, they came to pick one up, and they came to pick up the driver in the Corvette. in my driveway that I can't.
Could you not let me have that car?
No, you can't because it's too far to bring it to you.
Oh, for God's
You mean the car you just brought here? It's too far to bring.
Yeah,
it to
yeah.
you.
You can come here to pick up the guy, but you can't bring it for me to drive
Well, it's
for a week.
it's fun to drive. They wanted to drive it. They just
I
didn't want
guess.
you to drive it.
I
This
don't
is
know.
for you, Jeffrey. In our headlines, Hankook Tire America,
Yes.
or Hankook as it's called,
Hankook.
recalling certain Kinergy GT H436 tires,
That was
Kinetic
easy
en-
for you.
Kinetic
Size-
energy.
size
Friction.
235/50R 19H with dot code 0521. Tires may have been manufactured with an insufficient amount of curative agent, which could cause tread separation. In other words, the rubber ain't cured on it, and it's still gooey.
It's a softie.
It's a softie.
Yeah, I wouldn't be familiar with
Well,
that.
if you run it fast enough, it'll get hard.
General Motors front driver's side airbag is missing its metal tabs on the
What?
Chevy Silverado for 2021 on the 1500 model. Incorrect load carrying capacity label. You know, you got to have that label, and otherwise you're
Oh,
going to have to
gosh.
take it back to the dealer to have them install the right label on the
I couldn't tell
GMC
you-
Canyon 2021.
I couldn't tell you how many times a label has been recalled on
that is the
everybody's
stupidest
vehicle.
thing
Is
I've
that
ever
like
heard.
tearing the tag off a mattress? Or
Yes, yes. The
That one of those
federal
kinda-
law.
a federal thing?
A deformed front seat track bracket on the Land Rover
Can you say that
Defender
backwards?
2021. Instrument panel interference with the airbag on the Jaguar F-Type 2018 model. There is almost every Mercedes-Benz in the United States
Recalled.
in the world being recalled from the 2019 through the 2021 model year for incorrectly adjusted headlights.
Oh, you can do that
So
yourself.
go to safercar.gov, type in your VIN number, and you'll be able to tell whether yours is one of those that's been recalled.
Or you can just shine them on your garage door and see whether or not they're improperly
It's
adjusted.
kind of like the
Just yourself.
Batman sign.
Exactly.
Phillips.
Inadequate windshield bonding on the Chrysler 300, Dodge Challenger, and Dodge Charger for
That's not good.
2020
What
and
does that mean?
2021.
Well, it means
The windshield will come out.
Will come out, and the part of the windshield or the windshield on the passenger side is part of the airbag deployment system. The airbag folds up, hits the windshield, and then folds out.
Okay,
to
so
catch
it's the
passenger.
rubber around the windshield, not
It's
between the glass.
It's the urethane around the
Okay.
windshield. Yeah, there's no rubber anymore.
Okay.
They're all
Do
flush
these people
fits.
not check this stuff before they let them out the door?
Sure they do.
chuck in a
Fuel,
truck?
fuel leak at the pipe connection in the Kia K5 and the Sorento for the 21 and 22 model.
Hey, Heitzman, don't get a K5.
Fuel leak at the pipe connection in the Hyundai Santa Fe and the Sonata. Liftgate hinges can separate on the Nissan Rogue Sport 2021. And another recall for side impact crash sensor connectors that may loosen on every Mercedes-Benz known to man. Those are this week's recalls. And I'm not going to get into all
Nothing
the
about
details
a-
and all of that, but there's a bunch of recalls. Again, safercar.gov. Type in your VIN number. It'll ask you that. That's all it'll ask you. And it'll tell you whether or not your car's been recalled.
And
it's-
everything Mercedes has been recalled because they pulled the name Mercedes off the Superdome.
And the smart
Did they
car.
really?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's not-
Mercedes didn't renew their sponsorship of the Superdome this year.
Well, they don't need to. They're selling everything that they make.
Yep.
So, at any rate. All right. Quick break now. You are on the In Wheel Time Car Show. Back after this quick break.
We all know about aftermarket and online parts stores, and each one has something to offer, but they don't offer original factory parts. That's where Bayway comes in. For original factory parts, visit the Bayway stores first. Give them a call or stop by. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln carry a complete line of parts for the do-it-yourselfer. Keeping your newer classic original means a lot, and you can count on these fully stocked parts departments to help keep it that way. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk. You have no idea what I go through in these commercial breaks. It's the In Real Time Car Show. Just ahead, we're going to talk to, hopefully, Seth Angel, president of Houston Raceway Park.
There he is.
And talking about the pending closure out there. Mr. Mars reviews the 2021 Wrangler 4XE. Conrad has the events calendar. I'll have this week's Auto News headlines. We've got that and more coming up just ahead on today's In Real Time Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin.
Yep.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us today. And we're also very glad that we can be joined.
You hear me?
By, yes, we can hear you just
Hello.
fine. Talking to Seth Angel. So let's just get him right on the money, shall we? There he is. Hello, Seth Angel. It's good to see you, buddy.
Good
Good morning, guys. Pleasure to be on.
Well, I guess you've had tons of phone calls. Everybody in America is going, what in the world is going on? You're closing Houston Raceway Park? Where are we going to go drag racing? So you have to fill us in. What's the story? Tell everybody about it.
No, sure. I appreciate the opportunity. I think the release we put out is pretty, self-explanatory. I think, internally we knew this day was approaching maybe faster than we wanted. But, at the end of the day, our family decided we were going to move on and maybe turn the page to the next chapter in our lives. And unfortunately for us and for our fans and partners, that's closing the racetrack down. We've had an incredible 35-year run. And, for us, we decided to maybe do something different. But I think, for us, we've got another 9 months where we're going to put on the most incredible races that will culminate and end with our Spring Nationals in April of 22. And I think it's going to be a nice celebration and really just a tribute to all the great things that we've had happen at the park over the last 35 years. And so we look forward to that. And we look forward to delivering that to our fans and our partners and all of our stakeholders that have supported us for 3.5 decades.
Well, let's face facts. The bottom line is that piece of property where the track is, 30 years ago, there was absolutely nothing out there.
It was dirt.
Yeah. And now that the Grand Parkway is almost completed going out that way, and all of the warehouses, and I'm not talking about Grandma's warehouse down at the end of the block. These are massive warehouses, million square feet warehouses. That property has become a lot more valuable than that raceway.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to, sugarcoat anything. You're right. 35 years ago, it was a rice field, and today it's much more than that. And maybe we just because of the overall growth in our region, and many people don't know, or maybe they do, is that Houston, especially on the east side, Houston's the plastics capital of the world, and so there's so much going on. In the industrial sector, the industrial we're in a really industrial revolution. It is what it is. And so, we were obviously aware of, how valuable that piece of real estate was. And, 35 years is a long time. And, the racetrack, we put in, just the maintenance of keeping a 35-year-old facility in tip-top condition. That's very, capital intensive. And so for us, we got into an arrangement with the property owners who own the property now. That was back in, the fall of 2018. The transaction for the real estate took place in the spring of 2019. But when we did this whole process, we were very aware that we could not just do, say, for instance, what Englishtown did with the NHRA and just all of a sudden called them and said, "Hey,
shut down." Yeah,
we're done, and it's over with. We knew that we had some agreements in place and some obligations, not only contractually, but just to our fans, to see it ride out and put a finale that everyone would deserve that'll take place next year. So, we have ran, 3 races since that announcement came out, 3 consecutive years. And I think we were proud that we got to run in 21 in 20 with the pandemic. So it's been interesting, 36 months since all this has kind of come to fruition. And for us, we think over the next, going into the fall and going into the spring, with our national event, we think that everything we're going to do is going to be, on steroids when it comes to how well and what we're going to deliver to our fans. It's essentially everything we do in the fall will be our last fall event that we do. So we've got we've got a great portfolio of events that we're going to host that are staples on our schedule every year. Those promoters and those fans will be ready and amped up. We're going to be ready to go. And, when we get to that last weekend in April at our national event, it's going to be special. And we encourage everyone to be there. I will tell you, next week we will launch our probably most aggressive and robust ticket renewal campaign for the season, for the national event and our finale. And I think the fans are going to see and want to be there to remember what we do and for that event.
I was there in the beginning when NHRA started coming, and it was so cool to see the facility open up in Houston, and then to talk to, back then, I was with Oldsmobile, so I was talking to all the Pro Stock guys, and how proud they were to come to Houston, because you were the place they would go in the beginning of the year. And you used to hold like the Pro Stock prelim show there in January, and they would go there, and then when the event would happen, it was the record-setting event, and they all looked forward to coming to Houston because generally the air was good, the altitude was good, all of the air density things, all of that was great in Houston in most cases, and everybody would be banging out records. I'm sure somewhere you've got some historian that's going to count down all of the records that were set at Baytown over the years, and that's going to be volumes long between all the different classes.
Agree. Even
if you just did it on the pro classes.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and even in the release we put out, a little over a week ago, we made mention of some of those highlights and those key things that have taken place, and there's so many more that we couldn't mention because, as you just said, the list is so long, and so these next 9 months will be a tribute to all these things that have taken place over the years, and look, we're to say that we are. We're sad is an understatement. This is going to be a massive change in the landscape of motorsports in Houston, and we understand that there's going to be a void there. I would not be surprised. Look, people ask, well, where are you going next? Are y'all building another racetrack? And the answer is no, we're not building another racetrack. But I would not be surprised if someone somewhere in our region will make that investment.
Have you had somebody contact you yet and say, "Hey, Seth, will you help us open up another racetrack"?
No. I think
you want me to make that phone call.
And I have two questions beyond that. Go.
Look. So I think look, Houston is obviously the fourth largest city in the country. It's got an incredible fan base, and so people are like, well, if you're saying all these great things, well, why are you closing it down? And
time to move on.
We don't own the property anymore, and it's going to be developed, and that's the short clip.
That's part of that growth, though, that Houston has. Because it's happened to other places where racetracks, even small airports, have been squeezed out because of the growth. Right. It's time to,
because as residential moves in around you, they all fuss about the fun 100,000 people are having out at the track listening to the nitro cars go.
And I have two questions.
Yeah. And if you were to take a kind of aerial shot and look at the racetrack and look what's happened around it, and just maybe kind of snapshot, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 8, you would be amazed at what you would see and what's built around you. And not only industrial that is coming in and I wouldn't call it pushing us out, but, industrials, obviously you can clearly see these 1 million square foot infrastructure, buildings going up. But if you look even just north of us along Kilgore Parkway, there's residential apartments that are going in. There's residential neighborhoods going in. And so, look, I have to deal with it every day.
Right.
I can feel pressure from our cities and from the county and from the residents, the people who live around there. It's becoming harder and harder to do what we do without these restrictions and guides in place to say, look, you can only run this late, you can only be this loud. And so as we move on in the next year, 2, 3 years, for us, even if we were still there running, it's becoming extremely hard to just do what we do and not, bother or interfere or create a lot of,
heartache in the community
for, the neighboring residents.
Seth, I've got two questions for you. Number one, what are you going to do beyond this when that date finally comes? Second of all, what about that Christmas tree? You want to donate that Christmas tree there to In Wheel Time? We'll put it here in the studio. What happens to all the infrastructure at the track itself?
Well, let me answer your second question first. So look, there is obviously a large amount of inventory and infrastructure that can be removed and taken somewhere else. I.e. grandstands, as you mentioned, the Christmas tree. And it's been interesting the phone calls and emails that I've gotten. Everybody wants the Christmas tree, so I don't. So I think that's look. I think we'll do some cool stuff with that. And I'm not going to rule out we would auction off for some charity and do some cool things with it, because that's a part of Texas history that I think would be pretty special to maybe auction off. Who knows? But yeah, look. So what happens to everything? It gets taken down. All the buildings get taken down. The grandstands will more than likely get disassembled and repurposed somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Some of which have already been spoken for, and once we do close, and then there's a bunch of equipment. There's all kinds of things that will clearly won't have a use for, that will be sold to other facilities and venues that have interest in them. So that's number one, or the second question. The first question is what am I going to do? Great question. I'm 39 and I feel like I'm in the prime of my career, and so. I'm certainly not done. I would not rule out, staying in the motorsports arena in some fashion. I'm fortunate that I've got a great family support system around me, and so I've got time to do that. And I'm sure I'll land somewhere and contribute as best I can.
Well, you got a whole bunch of racers that love you, and I've known you a long time. Let's just leave it at that. Since you first started coming around, and we started coming around out there to Houston Raceway Park. So I know that that you're going to land somewhere special and it's going to be just right for you. And, these are friends and family that you just don't lose because anything motorsports, anything to do with
family.
cars, they are family. They might not be direct family, but they certainly are, Stan Holt. I mean, the list goes on and on. We know so many people in the sport, and they all love you, and we know that things are going to go well. But the focus now is to get it all the way to April 24th, and at 5 o'clock, hopefully, when that event comes to an end. And I got a feeling it's going to be a great celebration, and what a week that's going to be for you.
Yeah, it's going to be special, and we encourage everyone to be there to witness history and watch the final pair of cars go down the track on Sunday afternoon, and all the incredible things that we're going to do around that event. On the event weekend and certainly leading up to it. You're definitely going to know that we're there.
Well, before I even have to make the other phone call, are we welcome back again next year for the final event?
Sure.
You have an open invitation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. Well, we've certainly enjoyed the years that we've been out there and doing the broadcast from there. And with the help of the folks at Toyota and all, we've gotten a lot of drivers that I don't think that anybody else could have ever had on the air like we've had, including ESPN or Fox or whoever it is that's out there doing television. I mean, we've had as many drivers on our show in a 3-hour period than they have over an entire weekend. So, there's something to be said for that. We've had such a great time out there and have learned so much and have found out about all of these drivers and their personal lives and what motivates them to drive every week when they go on the NHRA circuit. It's been a real experience for us as well.
Well, we've enjoyed having you guys, and it's an honor to be able to have you guys host your show there and interview these great drivers and just talk about motorsports and do what you guys do. You guys do an incredible job.
Well, thanks. We appreciate that. So I guess that what we'll need to do is we're going to need to check in with you when you get the ticketing stuff all lined up for next year, the season passes and that sort of stuff, and we'll check in with you at that time. Do you have a guesstimate as to when that's going to happen?
Yeah, so I think we will launch officially next Wednesday our season ticket holder renewal campaign that'll take place over for a month, and then tickets go on sale to the public in mid-September. And so we'll get that all sent over to you guys, and you'll start seeing a lot of stuff on social and on our website here in the next week.
And we'll keep it up on ours as well to help support you.
Yeah. Well, Seth, it's great to talk to you, and we'll let you get back to your weekend, which you always deserve, and we appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks very much.
All right.
Thank you,
Seth
sir.
Angel, president of the Houston Raceway Park, and
what a guy.
Yeah.
I was out there at the first NHRA event, and what a great facility. Do you remember, it was probably back when you were racing, they had a problem with water seeping through the track at the concrete to asphalt transition. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was like Friday night it was an issue. Saturday they put some kind of plumbing underneath it and, just what they do for a living and got it to drain so that Sunday there wasn't any issues. But how quickly they reacted to something they weren't sure was an issue at the track.
Or just popped up. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was
so last Monday or Tuesday, we were actually sent over to the racetrack, and because the TV station wanted to do some video, and I got to shoot some video from there, and it was pretty spectacular, I think. But I didn't. You don't realize when you're there how close the bay actually is. It's like a mile and a half down the road. That's it.
Down 99 till you hit the bay.
That's sea level right there. Yeah. If that track is 2 feet above sea level, I'd be surprised.
I thought it was like 15 feet.
I don't know, man.
No.
But that's what's made the track's performance historic.
Yeah.
Because,
lots of records.
I remember there was a point in time where some event was going on. I was hanging out with a couple of guys, and they said, the air is like 300 feet below sea level. right now, and they were just banging out records in nitro and naturally aspirated cars because the air was that good. That is going to be impossible to replace.
Yeah.
It will,
Good
but
point.
it's like he said, it's time to move on.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Somebody's going to come along.
There's always a new time.
Yep. Hey, I did want to mention to you, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Send us anything, and Mr. Mars will have it on his computer the next day.
Because he has to handle it.
Exactly. All right, time now for the events calendar, and Conrad's got that.
Oh, boy.
There's plenty of events. Summertime, here we go.
Yep. Well, again, every weekend is Nifty 50s tonight at Grogan's Mill, Kemah Car Meet down in Kemah. Tomorrow is Houston Cars and Cocktails at Little Woodrow's.
There you go.
Cocktails.
And then also tomorrow is Cars and Cocktails Founders Meet at the Kirby Ice House on Memorial. So that should be, and I'm going to assume that's going to be a pretty high-level cars, Lambos, Ferraris, kinds of things. Also,
20-year-old Corvettes.
I was thinking the same
20-year-old Corvettes. And then also tomorrow is Extreme Off-Road and Performance. They're going to have their meet from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then Friday nights is at 99 and
59.
And 59, which, Randy, we were talking about that earlier, and that's
Up
every
on the
Friday
north
night.
side.
Up on the north side of 59, and that is generally a huge meet. I'm talking 150, 200 cars. So
Because there is a 99 and 59 on the southwest side, too.
is there a 99 on the south side?
Just to be clear, he's on the northeast side.
Oh, that's right, there is. There's a Cabela's or a Bass Pro Shop or something down there.
No, Academy.
So
Whatever. All right. Well, are you done?
Well, and then July 31st is the Cold Spring Car and Truck and Bike Show at the Cold Spring Community Center.
All right. Well, I've got one.
Oh.
I ran across this. Don't ask me how I got it, but it got sent to Don at In Wheel Time. Tickets for the second annual Chattanooga Motor Car Festival, now available for purchase. 3-day event, October 15th through the 17th in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Awesome.
That would be an awesome road trip. Okay? The festival combines a road rally, a street race, concours d'elegance into one amazing family-friendly weekend. Guests will also enjoy a wide variety of additional activities, including car club gatherings, panel discussions, and other boring entertainment events like that. Concert on the main stage Saturday night, legendary charity cruise-in on Saturday, displays of historic Ferraris and other marquees. Automobilia vendors, family-friendly activities for all. Proceeds go from the Chattanooga Motor Car Festival, support neuroscience research through 50 Plus Foundation, whatever. $39 one day. For 3 days, it's $89.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
But that time of the year in
October, be beautiful. See some fall colors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
But if you go to Memphis, hell, it takes a day to drive across Tennessee, kind of like it does Texas, except Texas is as wide as it is long. Tennessee is like 30 miles tall and 600 miles long.
But you got all the mountains.
Well, the hills.
Well, I call them mountains.
All right. Time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars has the 2021 Wrangler 4XE.
I saw your post
Is
on
that
Facebook
is it
about
all electric?
No, it's a plug-in hybrid.
Okay.
They call it the 4XE. So I was really interested in driving this vehicle because I'd seen so much and heard so much about it. So it is a Jeep Wrangler. It comes in 4 trim levels with 7 sub-trims. So that's where you get into your Unlimited and things like that. But the interesting thing is the 4XE, you can only have it in a base Rubicon or Sahara. Huh. You can get your sub packages off of that, such as the Unlimited, which is what we had. We had the Rubicon Unlimited 4XE. So you're kind of limited to those two only. And a couple of things that we had.
I wonder what that is.
I'll get to that. I think I figured that out.
Okay, go ahead.
So we had the bright Firecracker Red with the black Sunrider soft top. That's something new that Jeep Performance Parts is offering out.
So that one?
That's it.
Good
and had the steel
Don't
bumpers on it.
Him, please.
I have enough trouble staying focused as it is. So you're going to get the traditional 7-slot grill. This thing does have a vented hood. One of the shots later on kind of shows that, but you've got the LED lighting all the way around. You've got the automatic headlights, heated side mirrors. So it's a full off-road trail-rated package that you're going to get with this vehicle. 17 by 5 by 7-inch wheels, steel bumpers. And if I was going to change anything as far as the way it looks, nothing. I just make it easier to take the doors off, take the top down. But you get to the interior. So we had the leather interior seating because we had the Unlimited in the Rubicon package. And we had the heated front seats. We had the 7-inch gauge package. We had the 8.4-inch cluster or center stack monitor where we had our Uconnect and all our convenience controls, our 4G hotspot. We had some USB ports. We had the Alpine premium audio system, and it's got speakers kind of mounted to the roll bars and stuff, so it will fill this vehicle up. And you could take the doors off of it, and you could just blast it out all over the neighborhood or when you're on the beach where we were. Now, you get up under the hood. So this is where it gets real interesting because it's a plug-in hybrid. So it does have a 2.0-liter turbo that produces 375 horsepower.
4-cylinder turbo.
Yes. 375 horses. It's backed by the 8-speed transmission. They use it in a lot of things. It's a rock-solid transmission.
375 horsepower out of 2 liters.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a lot.
No, that's got to be combined with the electric.
It's a turbo.
No, it's combined with
No,
the electric.
no, 300, no.
That's combined with
You're
the
going to make me
electric.
double-check that, but in my notes, that's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So the 8-speed automatic. Now, the thing is, the EV range on it, the battery's mounted under the seat, and with the 14 gears in it, it's 22 miles on the EV range. That's all it is. And
14 gears.
410. 14 gears in the rear.
Oh, 410 gears.
That's the Needville twang.
Yeah, my Needville. Anyway, so I thought at first, man, 22 miles, it's, where are you going to go? So I drove it around town a couple of days. First couple of days I got it, and I used up that. So by the time we got to the beach, it got to the sand to take the pictures and stuff, I didn't have much of the EV left at all. So, but I kind of figured after having the other one for a week, that lifestyle change we talked about last week, if you look at this, the way I see it, you go off-roading. That's where that torque from that EV engine, that EV setup comes in. Because on the sand, in the E, I had to lighten up my foot because there was so much torque there, it would spin the tires a lot easier than it would on a gas engine. So I had to adjust my driving.
That's right. Blame the truck.
No. Once I adjusted my driving, it wasn't a problem. So I can see driving to your off-road spot, then switch to the EV, which you can't do now. I'm hoping to fix that. And then use the EV for the off-road, and then you drive out of it on your regular gas engine. So,
Birkenstocks.
Yeah, and here's a picture. Here's a picture of where you can plug it in. It's just like most of the regular plug-in hybrids. You can plug it in, charge it up. And I will say out on the highway, it does have that Jeep truck-like ride, but it's so much smoother than it was in the previous generation. It will see speeds that you normally don't see in a Jeep. No problem. Now, if you're looking for something to compare this to, you might look at the Toyota 4Runner or even the new Ford Bronco or the Land Rover Defender, but they don't have the E portion of it is the problem to be able to go and do these kind of things that this does. So it's kind of out there in the front of it now. So the base Jeep Wrangler Unlimited is $42,200 to start with. Now,
but wait a minute. Let's clarify that. That's the Unlimited.
Yes, because
that's not the base Jeep.
Well, it's the base unlimited because what we were driving is an unlimited model. So let's try to compare.
Point, yeah.
So, and the reason I did it that way is our base test vehicle for the Rubicon Unlimited 4xe is $51,695. So it's about a $9K bump to step up to that to the EV hybrid is what I'm trying to get to.
Well, that, plus you're also stepping up to the unlimited version.
Well, but I was going the base unlimited to an unlimited so that the only thing you're doing is for it. So it's about $9K to go to the 4xe. But then again, we had some other things. So our MSRP as tested was $61,265. So it's a step out there.
And they will sell every one they build, and people will be waiting in line for them to build more.
Well,
that's the great thing about Jeep is they live in a world by their own because, you talked about all those other vehicles that compare to it, but they really don't.
No, they don't. And that's what I'm saying by looking at that lifestyle where I'm going to drive my ICE, my internal combustion engine, to my off-road point, get the benefit of having the two electric motors and having all that torque, and then I'm going to drive my gasoline engine home. I can see that. I didn't realize it at first, but after I've drove it for a while, I realized that would be great.
That's the way to do it.
Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available at your favorite podcast provider. In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Let me tell you about a locally owned and operated group of dealerships called Bayway. Bayway owner Daryl Wisniewski is born and raised right here, and he knows Houstonians better than anyone. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Bayway Lincoln, and Bayway Chevrolet are managed by Lincoln Stahl. And when you get to know these guys, you'll want to become part of the Bayway family too. Feel good that you're part of Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com, BaywayChevrolet.com, and BaywayLincoln.com. Remember the name, Bayway. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
It's the In Real Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey, we need more Jeff Zekin.
Yep.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday, a hot Saturday. It is here in the Houston, Texas area.
Hot.
Hot.
How hot is it?
Well, it's supposed to get up to like 97 or something today. But you know what? It's the end of July. This is what we normally have.
Yeah, we've been dodging it for the last month because of all the rain. So
I wanted to give you a road trip update.
Okay.
I took the Corvette, the 20-year-old Corvette, over to Mobile. It was kind of like a shakedown thing for me with my new tires and all. Boy, those new tires on there are sweet.
Yeah.
New tires.
Alignment was good.
Oh, yeah.
You've had your fluids. You've had all your fluids.
Yeah, I got all that done. And so that part of it was great. There are a couple of things, however, that need to be addressed on the Corvette. One is a broken door lock, and it's the electronic part of it. We open the car. Well, the passenger side, I can go in there and manually open it, but it doesn't electronically open.
Oh.
$700 for the little brain that makes that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Okay. The other thing is that the driver's side seat on my side, it has all those adjustments and it's got the lumbar support and all that.
Yeah.
Well, the lumbar support thing won't inflate. Okay?
Another $700.
It's exactly right. It's another $700 for that.
Let me calculate this. I'm ciphering.
You were earlier today.
So I thought, maybe I can go ahead and just look at some other seats, because I saw some video I was looking at about a C5 Corvette and headlights and all that. Guess what I found? Through Amazon, you can buy a set of seats that look really good, leather, with the bracket that adopts them to the Corvette. $5
for both seats.
Now,
but they don't have the lumbar adjustment.
Well, and that's the thing. So if I want to do that, well, you're going to have to add at least another $500 to it.
No, because you can, for I think it's $49, you can get that New York taxi driver with the wooden ball thing.
Oh, yeah,
behind you. You just ride with that.
And they make one in a darker wood color so that it would fit into the black.
Yeah, I'll take the walnut, please.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get a black walnut, and you fit in with the black interior.
Yeah.
Well, as cars age, things go wrong.
People, too.
Electronics, thank you. Electronics in cars can be quite expensive, and there's only one vendor that sells those components, and typically it's GM.
Yeah.
Your struggle is going to be, as the car continues to age,
more issues.
No, that they're not going to make those replacement parts anymore.
Well,
and they're going to run out, and then you're going to end up.
The aftermarket for cars like his, though, it's not like a Ford or
somebody's going to have it,
Malibu.
but it's not going to be $700. It's going to be like $1,000.
The aftermarket for a C5 Corvette is unlimited.
Oh, yeah, but I doubt they make the lumbar bladder. I doubt they make the lumbar pump.
If it's the bladder.
It's not the bladder.
It's the pump.
No, it's the electronics that make the pump work.
Okay.
That's the problem.
And those are the things that probably the aftermarket isn't making yet. And
I would not be opposed to putting some aftermarket seats in it. Matter of fact, this particular guy, he has obviously spent a lot of money on his car, making, personalizing it to his own taste. I think he had some Carbo seats in there, but they were red, and they looked really good. And to be honest with you,
you could probably get a set to match your shoes.
That's what I'm thinking.
I am not a big leather fan, as you know.
Well, on Friday nights you are.
Take it from Jeff, who knows, come Saturday morning.
But that's only my underwear.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right, making sure.
But I'm thinking, I could really do with something that had like cloth inserts, leather surrounds, something like that. Something that looked sharp, that looked like it came with the car.
But do you actually use the lumbar?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the back surgeries.
Well, I've got the lumbar in mine, and I don't have it fully deployed. Because
every car that I get in, I max it out.
Do you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I would think, particularly in a Corvette, where you're more
laying down.
Yeah, there's a lot more pressure on your back from the lumbar because your seat is a little tilted back. So.
The other thing too on this trip that I discovered, and maybe it's just me, but somebody needs to come up with A, B, or C, or a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star place to stop to use the restroom. And I'm not talking about Buc-ee's here because that's a given. But a place to use the restroom that's clean, that you feel safe, and you can buy some decent gas.
You're asking too much.
I'm telling you.
I stopped at some shady places, and they were packed.
Yep.
You had to wait in 3 or 4 people deep to get into the bathroom. Are you kidding? And then you got in and you went, ooh, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, but if you counted all 27 people you had to wait in line behind, you had a full set of teeth.
Oh.
Well, I didn't take that into consideration, so
Conrad,
it's my fault.
Be there.
Yeah, send that one to Conrad at InWheelTime.com.
Because at those interstates, when they have a crossover bridge, there's a gas station on each corner for both sides of the freeway.
A smelly bathroom in each gas station.
And they all kind of look the same because that they were all built about the same time.
Right.
And, over here's the Shell station, here's the Exxon station.
I thought there was a Buc-ee's way out.
I'm sure there is.
On the
not that I saw.
I guess it's on the Florida border.
Yeah, I don't think it's in Louisiana. I think you got to jump. Yeah,
just as you get into Florida. I know they've been building some outside of Texas.
And they used to be Stuckey's, and even between here and Beaumont, they built a new Stuckey's, and it's pretty nice. I had an aunt that stopped at the old Stuckey's going east,
and she wasn't murdered.
Oh, she was talking bad about it.
And there's also Pilots
and the Petro.
Yeah, Pilots.
Truck stop.
Pilot truck stops, yeah.
You
can shower in those.
Well, that's true. You can go to the bathroom and then go wash it off.
Yeah.
All at once, right?
Wash it all off. Yeah, there's that. Yeah. I haven't thought about it, but it's hard to imagine today that you can have a, whatever you want to call them,
a janky bathroom
at a janky store. Some of these stores, it's like, are you kidding me? It's just nasty.
So they're not on they're not on the Michelin hotel.
No,
food
they're not.
chain
We've got one down in Crystal Beach that it was the place to go because of the location, the brands on it and stuff. Well, it changed hand about 2 years ago. I won't go there anymore. I mean, the pumps don't work. You
Yeah,
go
but when you
inside.
got to go, you got to go.
Well, now you go outside. They've got porta potties sitting outside now. That's how far down they've gone.
And he's got warrants out.
I just don't understand
Well,
that.
there's your $1 million idea, Don. On the other side of on the other side of Orange.
Donnie's.
I'm not-
Call it Donnie's.
Donnie's.
I am not going to be the one.
Or Duckies.
I am not going to be the one to go along and rate each of these nasty places.
No, you could name it.
No, he was talking about building one.
You could name it.
hell no,
You
I'm
could
not
name
gonna
it.
do that.
Wash it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you'd have to change the name of it because there's probably some Indian tribe somewhere called the Wash-It-Offs.
Yeah. And they'll get offended. We could change it to the Guardian.
Yeah, there you go.
or Comrade's name or that he had earlier for it.
Or that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I had a friend of mine had a bowling team and they were called the Nads.
The
And everybody you cheer them on, go.
Nads. What a great idea. That's the name of our new bowling team.
The Nads.
The Nads.
Wash
Well,
it
we
off.
have the shirts for it.
We do. Yes, we do.
Wash it off.
So, what else did you learn on your trip?
Well, I will say this, that I got up to 28 miles per gallon
Fantastic.
in the Corvette.
Yeah, 6-speed in that car, and that's the thing about the manual in that car. It got so much better fuel economy.
Yeah. But what I would have liked to have had was just a little bit more horsepower.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's called a supercharger. Don.
I know it is.
I
And it's
never
a-
hear him say that. I always
How
hear
much
that,
is a
well, I didn't
supercharger?
use
It's
that.
$7,000.
7,000. Okay,
And
I'll
it-
put that.
and-
I'm
and
ciphering.
hey,
Send your checks to sponsor Don's Supercharger.
$7,000,
Okay.
and it takes a weekend to do it. And it
Okay.
comes with all the pulleys, all the parts, all the
It's gotta
pieces.
be
If
low
we're
profile.
going to do it,
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
is that
yeah.
it?
Fits
'Cause we
under
got
the
this.
hood, yeah.
We got the door, the seats, the supercharger, carry the one.
Carry the one, carry the 7.
yeah. So there are those.
You get
there
an
are those
$8,400.
items. And I mean, there's some other minor things that
But the new tires were a big difference.
and I've finally figured out what kind of color wheels that I want. Remember
Oh, boy.
a couple of weeks ago I mentioned to you that I thought maybe about changing them to black wheels because that's the new hottest thing.
No.
They
No,
make that dark bronze.
Those wheels that are out there on that F Sport,
custom.
Lexus F Sport that I'm currently driving, that is the finish that I want.
I'll have
That's
to look at it and
exactly
see.
the finish.
Yeah,
Is
'cause
the-
it was dark when we got here this morning.
Is the bolt pattern the same? Because we could like,
Yeah,
Try 'em out.
no.
We can swap and try 'em out.
Yeah, those meats that are on my car.
yeah,
no.
you got
And he just put them on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then you need to get some of those big 3-inch letters to put on the sidewall that say Corvette.
No,
No,
that
they
will
say
not.
Don Armstrong.
There you go.
Like
No.
Armstrong tires.
No, that will not happen. Do they still make Armstrong tires?
Ask Jeffrey.
I'd have to look into it. I don't know.
I haven't seen Armstrong tires. I have a sign on my fence there, but Armstrong tires.
That's what brought that up.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's why I said that.
Yeah, Armstrong tires. Matter of fact, when I worked at Richardson Chevrolet, guess what kind of tires we sold? Armstrong tires. Guess how many we sold? None.
He's also got a peephole in the fence too. You know?
Yeah, that's for the
No, let's not go there.
back over there. I saw a Hellcat the other day, literally, one of the first times in Mid-County, and they had those
Big,
tall letters that said Hellcat on it.
And it looks like a NASCAR tire that's got
It
the
does.
Goodyear
It's
writing
exactly
on it.
what it looks like.
I think that's the look for it. I think
And
it,
it was
kinda,
it was white with black trim on it, and the black tires with the white letters. It really didn't look bad. Very NASCAR-ish.
And where do you
except they
live?
don't run that car in NASCAR.
Well, down Nederland Avenue would be okay though.
Nederland Avenue.
Yes.
Is that Main
Billy
Street?
Joe, Bobby
Yep.
Joe, and Betty Joe up there in the,
All
in the
four of 'em
water
out
tower
there,
waving
yeah.
at people. Hi,
Larry,
welcome
Daryl,
to
and Daryl.
Petticoat Junction.
By the way, what is there's Tomater and the other big name cars, cartoon car,
Tomater was the wrecker.
the wrecker, and then there was the red thing, Lightning McQueen.
Lightning
Lightning
McQueen.
McQueen.
So
The star.
Gina last weekend at Houston Motorsports Park in the 3/8 mile race there, she had Tomater and Lightning McQueen there.
I'll be darned.
Oh,
in,
cool.
in person.
For the
They
kids.
look like them for the kids. So find out that Lightning McQueen got stopped by the police for speeding. Can you imagine?
That's great.
Can you imagine the cop behind Lightning McQueen pulled over on the side of the road? Hey, buddy, Do you know how fast you're going? I can just hear it, and he's going to a race. I thought that was all rather ironic.
Yeah, that would have been good. That's where you need that YouTube, TikTok video, whatever.
Yep. What a great event out there, by the way. And there's another race coming up on September 4th, I think it is. And
that'd be Labor Day weekend.
Yep. And it's a huge points truck race. And let me tell you something. I was never.
That'll bring everybody to town.
I was never really into the trucks, but take away the fact that there's nothing back there. You think about it, it's the same setup as a car. It's just in the shape of a truck.
Mm-hmm.
All
it's
the stuff underneath it. Those guys are very serious about what they do. And it may be a sport to them, and they might not be on the pro tour, but they are very serious. Oh, my gosh. So it's a points race, and I think that she said that they're going to pay $10,000 to the winner.
Everybody's coming.
But you just went to one last weekend ago?
That was last week at Houston Motorsports Park. So the next one is Labor Day weekend. And if you don't have anything to do, well, even if you do have something to do, make plans to go to this.
Take your date there.
Yeah. So,
take the kids.
So the way that it works is she opens the gates at 5. Now, she says that the racing starts at 6. Sometimes it's 6, 6:15, sometimes 6:30, whatever the case. We were out of there at 9:30. Mm-hmm. That's what I like.
It's because you weren't racing smart cars.
Hey,
amen to that. There weren't any wrecks. The show went just like that, like it was supposed to.
And
couple
they
of
do
spins.
a good job of keeping it going. And then between races, generally Gina and the crew are out there revving up the crowd as well.
It's a 3-hour entertainment extravaganza that runs as smooth as glass.
$1 hot dogs, $1 beers.
Yep. So anyway, and it's cheap to get in. I mean, everything about it is fun if you're into motorsports at all. 3/8 mile asphalt track up of North Lake Houston Parkway. Mm-hmm. So
are you going to do color next time as well? Or?
No. I'll stick with the winner interviews. It was nice. One of the kids, he was 19.
You told me that,
Yeah, and he started crying. It was his first win.
Cool.
That's
awesome.
It was very cool. And everybody in the crowd stood up, applauded him. And
so did you keep him in the emotion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because that's a good interview is when you can keep
it
them
was
in
a
the emotion.
great interview.
Then they just become a blathering boom.
No,
something they'll never forget either.
Strictly a class act. And, there are a lot of younger drivers out there.
Oh, yeah.
Getting their start there. Well, one of them that I interviewed in the spring, one of the winners was 13. 13. He beat everybody in the class.
That's my granddaughter's
Fearless.
age.
13.
Yeah.
And he was good, man. He knew what he was doing. He started in go-karts, as they all do. And he had it together. Those are really exciting interviews for me.
Yeah,
I enjoy doing
kids
them.
that age get support from their parents.
And
because
who
their
else?
parents are probably in the automotive sector somehow, either racing or
Right.
parts or
Think
whatever.
about who else started in go-karts. Max Verstappen and Hamilton. They both started in
I'm
go-karts
done.
actually together.
I'm done with that.
Why are you done? Why do you keep saying that?
Because I just
Hamilton
think it's
took
rigged.
Max out.
I think it's just the most favoritism types racing.
Well, they said that Toto Wolff, the general manager of the Mercedes team, was lobbying the judges.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he was.
Before they came out with their 10-second penalty. And he, both of them, it was a racing accident. I'm going to give it as
I disagree.
It was a racing accident. Max has done that to people, and now somebody did it to Max, and Max blew a gasket.
Max almost died.
Hamilton was wrong because Max doesn't do it at a 180-mile-an-hour turn at the F1 race at Silverstone.
I understand.
So he does it at these slow turns.
Does what?
There was a
Cuts in, dive bombs him in the corner to take the space, and then as the
Inside
other
car.
guy is taking the normal arc to the apex, Max is there, and they collide. And,
Spins
and they
out,
wreck.
da-da-da-da.
Well, Hamilton did it to Max at a no-lift turn at like 180 miles an hour. And Verstappen in the Red Bull car goes flying and had a 51G impact sideways into the wall, and he went to the hospital.
And they said, "Oh, that's okay. It's just Hamilton. It'll get over."
Yeah, well, everybody
this grinds me.
Everybody's on both sides of it. To me, I think it was just a racing thing.
No,
just
they should have told
bad
him.
choice by Hamilton to do it at 180 miles an hour.
Pack up your stuff and get out of the country.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't do that. Well, he
That's
lives
what I
in
would
that
have done.
country.
Well, I said get out. Go find another country to live in. You're done.
But he ended up Hamilton.
Angry?
Hamilton
Yes.
got a 10-second penalty that they applied at a pit stop, and he ended up winning the race anyhow.
See? That's what I mean.
What are you trying to say, Jeff?
Pack your stuff up and
Jeff,
get out.
Jeff needs to be in charge over there. Apparently.
Oh gosh.
They need more Jeff over there.
They do need. Yeah, we all need more Jeff.
Can we send him?
Please.
Have to bring the band with me.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Bring the band. We're putting the band back together. Speaking of the band,
playing
Jeff
tonight.
is going to be playing tonight at the Hooly Hooly Hut down there in Galveston.
Yep. 19th Street on the Strand.
Sounds like a strip club.
It could be. When we're done playing, it will be.
You guys are going to get naked on stage?
I might have to go then.
Conrad, I can get you
I
backstage.
can't go this weekend. He's always on the weekend. I can't go.
No.
Go next. Do it
You're
next
always doing
weekend.
something on the weekend we play.
Oh.
Change
You're
your
always
schedule.
busy, Mars.
Next weekend. I'm telling you.
Go for it. It's all you.
Yeah.
So did you hear General Motors recently spent $71 million buying 3 buildings in Pasadena, California to set up a new campus for the Advanced Design and Technology Center?
I heard about that, yeah.
I did not.
I mean, I think about it, and let's see. GM spent $71 million buying a 3-building campus. Didn't Toyota just leave Long Beach and all of that complex there and move to Garland, Texas? And my mind reads, didn't General Motors spend like $120 million moving Cadillac from Detroit to
New York,
Manhattan and then close that out? I wonder why they're losing money.
They're not
Decisions.
losing.
No, they're not losing money, but they stopped all truck production right now because of chips. Just completely, they're not building trucks at all. How would you like to be a GM dealer today, knowing that
You're not
there's
getting
no trucks
for a
coming.
while?
Yeah.
Scary.
Well,
scary.
Ford's not delivering any. They're making them, but they're all sitting on lots around Detroit.
Well, I
Wait.
think the intent now is to go ahead and deliver
They're
them.
asking the dealers
Right.
to
Take
take the
them.
yes.
And then, so they'll be drivable to get on the transport and off the transport. And then when they arrive at the dealership, they're not sellable. And Ford is going to send in the modules that the dealers are going to plug and play the modules to make them
I want
deliverable.
to tell you something else that's going to happen once they're parked on that lot, which happened with years ago when I was a manufacturer rep with Pirelli. Pirelli had an issue with flat spots in the tires at the dealerships because you would take it out for a test drive, it would thub, 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 thub as you drove, air up the tires. They would continually rotate their stock and their inventory. That's going to be a factor coming up as well. They're going to have the tires.
Well, you also have environmental damage. You also have hail damage, all of those things. And that's why they haven't determined what Ford's going to do with this backup of inventory they have in Detroit.
And who's going to pay for the floor plan?
What was it? What was it a couple of months ago or a month or so ago? They had all the floods in Detroit.
Yes.
And think of that damage, and now whoever manufacturers ended up with flooded vehicles, they were responsible.
I don't know if they had a lot of damage with the dealerships, but they did have flooding.
Right.
I'm not really sure where.
I do have some headlines I want to get in.
Okay.
Speaking of GM, they plan to recall certain Chevrolet Bolts for the second time in less than a year to replace defective battery modules after customers who completed a previous recall remedy continued to report battery fires. GM did not say when the replacements would start. Okay, good luck on that. News as of last night, Tokyo 2020 sponsor Toyota will not run Olympics-related TV commercials amid lackluster public support for the Olympics, with 2/3 of Japanese doubting organizers can keep the games safe during the COVID-19 pandemic, according to a local media poll. Toyota Motor Corporation President Akio Toyoda and other executives will not attend the opening ceremony either.
Nice.
And some 60 Japanese corporations who have paid more than $3 billion for sponsorship rights to the postponed 2020 Olympics now face a dilemma over whether or not to tie their brands to an event that has so far failed to win strong public backing.
And they won't get their money back.
Get the money back.
No, not at all. I was watching some of it.
I did.
I watched women's water polo last night at midnight.
Great.
Yeah.
And then today
On the Nobody Cares television network?
It was on the internet.
And then no, it was on NBC Sports. And then at 7 p.m. tonight is the men's water polo versus Japan. I'm sorry, I'm a water polo fan because both my kids played collegiate water polo.
I understand. Well, I'm a volleyball fan.
Okay.
But for a different reason. Well, not completely. I mean,
Or
my daughters
or
played
handball.
volleyball, But this is, sand volleyball out there.
Yeah, we did water polo in high school, but the horses were drowning.
Yeah. Ching, old joke.
Chevy
But
plans
you're an old guy.
Chevy plans to launch a supercharged version of its mid-engine Corvette for the 2023 model year, the brand said in a statement Monday. The 2023 Corvette Z06 will add racing components to the standard Stingray. Chevy plans to share details on availability and launch timing when it reveals the Z06 this fall.
Cool.
Special edition features Corvette racing-themed graphics. Got to have those.
That's going to have that skull thing on it.
Including a number 3 on the back of the yellow edition and a number 4 on the gray edition. Chevy will build 1,000 special edition models for left-hand drive markets.
And they're headed to Le Mans in...
That's Le Mans.
Le Mans. And trying to get their 10th overall win, or a 10th class win.
Something like
with
that.
With the C8.
Yeah.
Okay. GMC will join the electric pickup fray, executives said on Monday. GMC. Okay.
Not Hummer.
Duncan Allred. Who's named Duncan?
That guy.
Well,
Vice
we can get him
President,
on the show.
Vice President of Global Buick and GMC. We are not going to get him on the show. Told reporters a full-size electric pickup would arrive in quote-unquote due course. What does that mean?
Soon.
GMC's confirmation of an electric pickup follows Chevrolet's April announcement that it would build an electric Silverado powered by GM's proprietary Ultium battery at GM's Factory Zero plant in Detroit. Forecasters expect GM to also build the GMC pickup at Factory Zero, alongside the 22 GMC Hummer EV pickup and the 2024 Hummer EV SUV and the Cruise Origin. Everything's going electric. And that's a story that we need to delve into. And I don't want to do this in front of I don't want to do this in front of our good friend up in Dallas.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you that as the days click on and more makers, some of which you've never heard of before, are all saying, hey, we're building electric, we'll build an electric. Okay, where's the infrastructure? And so there was a study done about the actual power supply. It's going to be minimal effect on the power supply. That's what I hear.
Power grid, you mean. Power grid.
But, yes, the power grid. But the infrastructure to charge all of these electric vehicles. It doesn't exist.
Nope. Well, it does in Van Horn, Texas, because did you see when they launched that, whatever it was, rocket? That they drove Bezos out to the rocket in a Rivian. The Rivian truck.
Yeah, the Rivian truck.
Which I
Talk about product
And so
placement.
what was that, about, 5 miles or something?
Something like that.
Maybe.
It was just right down the road.
Yeah.
Because the rocket was only 65
Well,
miles.
and the reason being is because that's the brand that they're going to use
at Amazon.
Right.
And then Mercedes announced plans to invest 40 billion euros.
Whoa. That's 88 cents, isn't it?
Between 22 and 30 to develop a full electric vehicle platform. So they will be only selling electrics by the end of 2030.
Huh.
That's not that far away.
No.
Are Andy and Mercedes ready?
Yes, sir.
They are?
Yes, sir. They're sitting here
That's
ready.
a beautiful thing.
I'm so excited.
I know I am too.
So,
but they're inside.
That's okay.
Well, they're in. Yeah, but I mean, it's early
Must
there.
be raining
Yeah, it always rains up there.
or
doesn't it?
snowing.
One or the other. But anyway, you're going to love them. If you're not familiar with Andy and Mercedes Lilienthal.
You haven't been listening.
Yeah, that's right. And we haven't talked to them probably in 6 months.
And you know what? I was
it's been a
thinking
while.
about them when we were at the remote, that we should have had them on, but we can't do that Zoom there. So I was thinking about it.
Well,
You
Well-
were thinking?
Yeah.
That's good news.
It is. It's always good news.
and it was only a week ago that he was doing it.
All right. Well,
And he
it's
remembered.
time now for a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Show. Back after this.
Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
So how'd that work out? Sorry.
This is the award-winning... Go ahead.
No.
Y'all don't mind me.
I can't believe we win awards for this.
Like in baseball, we're going to cover this.
This is the Mystery Car Show. Pay no attention to that sign back there. Pay no attention to that. It is In Wheel Time. Just ahead, we're going to talk about our featured car of the week, the all-new Genesis GV80. We got your weekly cruise-in calendar. Conrad has This Week in Auto History. I'll have stories making automotive news headlines. That and more just ahead on today's In Real Time Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Our special guests this particular moment is our favorite couple, Andy and Mercedes Lilienthal. Why did you laugh? Why? Well, you just laughed.
Well, we're glad that we're your favorite. Hello, guys.
Well, you are our only car couple, okay? That actually appear together on the screen. So we appreciate it.
And Don doesn't have very many friends anyhow.
That is true. But it's great to see you guys, and I don't know whether you caught the conversation or not, but Jeff said that he was thinking about you, and it's funny because I guess a week or two ago, I was actually thinking about you guys too. Where have you been? What's going on?
What new toys have you bought?
Is it snowing up there? Is it raining? What's the weather like?
Did they drive through Texas?
We need to check in on all these things.
Has Portland stopped burning?
Yeah, no, Portland is not burning.
Portland's not burning.
We have a large fire in southern Oregon. It's over 400,000 acres.
Ouch.
Burned over 400,000 acres. But
it's called the bootleg fire.
Sorry to hear that.
Bad.
Currently, nothing on fire around here, which is great.
So, what have you guys been up to since? Oh, I guess we talked to you maybe 5 months ago. It was in the winter.
It was really cold.
Yeah.
I remember we could see our breath outside.
Yes, it is not cold today.
No.
It's supposed to be 90 here today. It's a beautiful sunny morning, so no complaints there. But we've been up to our kind of usual stuff. We've been doing a lot of writing, both Mercedes and I. We took a 6,000 mile, I guess they call them working vacations. So we drove our Mitsubishi Delica van from Portland, Oregon, out to Wisconsin, and we visited some family for a while that we haven't seen in quite some time.
And wait, Paul,
Gosh, you just pulled Don's string.
Let's just talk about family in Wisconsin. Is it yours, Andy?
Both ours.
Both. Where?
I only have one person in the United States. Everybody else is overseas, either in Germany or in New Zealand. But my mother lives in Wisconsin.
Where?
Oh, very cool.
Central Wisconsin, in a tiny town called Wisconsin Rapids.
Oh, I know where that is. Yes.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. Were you born there?
Pardon?
Were you born there?
I was baptized in Germany, and my parents immigrated from Germany in the 60s, but I'm first generation. And my sister and her 2 children and her partner are over in Germany, and everybody else who's left of them is over in Germany and then also New Zealand.
Wow. That's quite the global family we've got going on.
Don's a Waukesha kid.
And Andy, you said you had family there?
I do, yes. My mother was born in Portage, Wisconsin, and my mother and uncle. And then my uncle lives in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and my mother lives in Hudson, Wisconsin.
So are y'all related to Don? Are y'all
No,
related?
we're not related, but I know where all of those places are. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. So you made a 6,000-mile trip. Listen, it's not 3,000 miles from where you are to Wisconsin.
It is not.
Correct. Yeah, we had a specific reason why we did what we did. So as Andy had said, we went to Wisconsin to visit everybody since everybody's finally vaccinated, got both their shots, waited the extra 2 weeks and whatnot, and hung out there, worked and helped them, and just had some fun and celebrated Andy's mom's birthday. And then we decided, instead of going back to Oregon where we live, is to basically go back to Oregon via LA. And that's kind of interesting. We decided to go down to Los Angeles area to Frontrunner Outfitters headquarters. They are a major roof rack manufacturer. They're based out of South Africa, but they have a lot of great roof platform racks and accessories and things like that. And we talked with them and said, hey, we've got this crazy kooky van. Are you guys interested in seeing if there might be a buildup that you guys can do for our van? And we were the first people, with the very generous help of a UK owner, Carlos is his name, that has a Delica, that also has been able to put together some type of a Frontrunner rack, gave us part numbers and helped us with photos. And long story short, we were able to get it fit up, and they're going to make a kit out of it. So
cool. Are there that many Delicas in the United States to sell that kit to?
We'll find out. So
there's more and more. I mean, the generation of Delica that we have, the Delica Space Gear, is a newer model, and it's only been allowed in the States for 2 years now? 3?
Yeah, it's 94.
So it's a pretty new vehicle still for the U.S., but I have a feeling that they're bringing this kit to market for it to be global. So details are yet to be coming, but they're in final stages of making the kit, and it'll go live, and I guess our van will be on their website.
So let me ask you, one of the things that we had talked about was, you're in this fight with Maine, the state of Maine, over the Delica.
Well, so we are not in Portland, Maine. We're in Portland, Oregon, of course. So
right.
I don't have any necessarily, how shall I say, I'm not affected directly by this.
But yet.
My job as a writer or a journalist is to bring this story to light. So when I'm an admin on the Mitsubishi Delica Owners Club Facebook group, and somebody had posted this letter from the Secretary of State in Maine saying that their registration would be canceled in 3 weeks, and that they were supposed to mail the plates back to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles because the vehicle was a mini truck.
And also to not be able to sell said vehicle within the state. They couldn't even do that. They'd have to sell it out of state.
And so if you've ever actually seen a mini truck, a lot of times you'll see them, on grounds as a groundskeeping vehicle. Some states are legal to register, some they're not. That's a pretty common thing.
They're not legal in the state of Texas for highway use.
Nor here in Oregon. Now, our neighbors to the north in Washington State, they are legal. I have a friend with a Suzuki Carry, which is a little, flat bed cab over mini truck. So the state of Maine was saying that it was a mini truck. Well, the Mitsubishi Delica is more or less the size of a 2021 Toyota Sienna.
It's a full-size passenger van that carries 7 people with a sliding door and everything.
Right.
Sure.
It's not a mini truck.
And so most the people in the group thought, well, this must be a clerical error.
Screwed up.
And so they reached out to the Maine Bureau of Motor Vehicles, and said, "Oh, I think there's a mistake. This is a full-size van. This isn't a mini truck."
Right.
And then from there, things started to get as clear as mud.
Oh boy.
And so they then said, "Oh well, it wasn't the mini truck thing. It was the lack of federal motor vehicle safety standards and EPA stuff, which mini trucks don't conform to." So that's when I'm like, okay, this has got to be brought to light. So I wrote an article about what's going on, and I sent some questions to the media contact at the Secretary of State in Maine, and I wrote an article about it. And other automotive news organizations took notice. Autoblog started following this. They wrote an article about it. I was interviewed on Pickup Truck and SUV Talk. I was,
about cars
and then
too.
I wrote an article with my findings after the state of Maine contacted me with the responses for thetruthaboutcars.com.
Well,
So basically, what it appears to be coming down to is, it's a little convoluted. I know that's
Get your coffee ready?
real surprising. But so what it seems to be coming down to is, and I don't know why the Delica was singled out. There are some explanations on delicaforum.com. But basically, Maine has a state vehicle inspection, annual vehicle inspection, which is put on by, I believe, overseen by the Maine State Police.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they couldn't find on a Delica was the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards sticker. So if you open the door jamb on any new car, there'll be a sticker about the size of an index card in the door jamb. There's a barcode on it, and it says Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard certified or equipped. I can't remember the actual language. Yeah. Well, the Delica doesn't have that. Now, under the federal rule, the federal 25-year import rule, it states that vehicles that are 25 years or older are exempt from federal motor vehicle safety standards and EPA stuff.
Yeah.
That's what makes it legal for them to be imported at that time.
That's why you have to wait 25 years to do it.
And that's why you have it.
Right.
Exactly. So, but apparently Maine has decided that they're not going to follow that, and that they've decided that any vehicle without a federal motor vehicle safety standard decal is now considered an off-road vehicle. Now, I don't think they mean off-road vehicle like a Ford Raptor.
Just not on the highway.
Or a Jeep.
Non-highway,
They're
yes.
meaning any vehicle that is an off-road vehicle is a vehicle that can't be driven on road.
Right.
So if you don't have the FMVSS sticker, you're an off-road vehicle.
So
Maine doesn't register off-road vehicles for on-road use.
Right.
Therefore, you can't drive it on the road.
Texas is kind of the same way, but they don't go quite to that extent. So a 57 Chevy is not going to have that sticker.
Nope.
Right.
A 57 Chevy isn't going to have that sticker.
Any classic
A Nissan Skyline that has been imported from Japan is not going to have that sticker. Right-hand drive Mini Cooper, right-hand drive
Eurospec,
Rover from the UK.
Eurospec Mercedes.
So are they taking all of those, telling all those people to bring their plates back, or is it just the Delica?
I asked the question. I didn't want to ask it, but I asked it. I said, so can owners of all these other vehicles expect a letter in the mail? And their reply was simply, if we find non-conforming vehicles, then they may be getting a letter in the mail.
Oh, nice! Now you've alerted them to all the other vehicles that.
Well, and there could be some kind of differentiating, Mercedes versus.
Have you talked to the Attorney General in Maine about this?
This was I was going through the
Attorney
General's people. So
tell them about Hummer.
Well, so one Delica owner has decided to lawyer up and contact the state about this, and he has posted a whole host of things on delicaforum.com, and one of those was his lawyer found out that apparently the state is also going after people who have purchased ex-military vehicles such as Humvees.
Yep.
Generation 1
are going to be actively deregistering them. Now, I don't have any insight into that specifically, but that was posted in the Delica forum. The other thing that was rather interesting, one of the forum members exercised his right, paid $30 for an FOAA dump, so a Freedom of Access Act dump of documents, document dump.
Public documents.
Right.
And so there are multiple pages about this going back and forth within the Bureau between journalists like myself and the people at Autoblog, as well as a dealership in Maine that said, I sell classic cars and JDM cars and have for 25 years, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And they said, I'm going to have, I don't remember if they said they already have or if they are anticipating buyers wanting their money back, because now the state of Maine has said I can't legally have this. There's no grandfather period. It's not like, I don't understand why they didn't just say, you know what, after July 1st, 2021, no more. Instead, they just said, nope, off the road.
Canceling everything.
Oh, it'll come to a point where the state will sell you something for the registration for $1,500, $2,000, and then it'll pass, and it switches from keeping you off the road to becoming a revenue generator for the state. And then they're going to roll everybody else in and make millions of dollars in generating that revenue from that special certificate.
Right.
It's an interesting theory.
I've contacted the SEMA Action Network.
Yep.
For those of you,
Yeah, I know who they are.
SEMA is Specialty Equipment Market Association. They've been apparently going back and forth. I'm not sure what their findings are yet, but I've been in contact with them daily. And I worry. I'm not a slippery slope argument kind of guy generally, but in this instance, I mean, you said it yourself. It's a mighty nice 57 Chevy Bel Air you have.
Yeah, you want to keep it?
It'd be a shame if it didn't meet federal mandated safety things.
Which it won't, because it won't have that sticker on it.
Well, there weren't any in 1957.
Well, but that's the whole point.
Exactly.
So now you've got this whole array of vehicles that you're literally, if you take the law according to what you've learned, are going to have to be taken off the road. You're going to have to give them up. Well, you don't have to give them up, but you can't drive them.
Somebody
Right, you just can't drive them. They'll be
You're going to have to turn them in.
paperweights.
Yeah, you're going to have to turn them into an Airbnb.
The state did not think
in
this
your
through.
driveway.
Or, like I said, I really think this is all a play for the state to charge a fee.
They didn't think
for
it
you
through,
to keep
yeah.
the road. That's coming.
And then it
I see
could be,
that
you go get your state inspection once a year. Okay, you don't have that sticker. It's an extra $100 because you've got a vehicle
They
that
ain't going to
doesn't
do
qualify.
anything for 100.
Has there been a change of politics up there in Maine?
No, there haven't been any. There have been. It's kind of gone back and forth. Some people have really tried to point the fingers at Democrats, and some people have tried to point the fingers at a Republican kind of deal. But what has happened, as I understand it from reading the forum posts on Delica Forum, is that there was some sort of bill that went through that allowed the Bureau of Motor Vehicles in Maine to have more power to change languages and whatnot on I guess it would be bills or rules of some sort.
Yeah.
And so apparently one of the things they decided to do was broaden the term off-road vehicle. And the language, and I don't have it in front of me at the moment, but it basically defines an off-road vehicle as a vehicle that doesn't meet, I believe it's Chapter 14 of NHTSA, National Highway Safety Transportation Administration stuff, some EPA thing, and one other deal. I don't have it in front of me. But again, I start to think, okay, so I don't know how the Delica of all vehicles got on the radar, but I guarantee,
not many owners.
Again, without sounding conspiratorial and without being ridiculous on the slippery slope argument, you do think, well, okay, like I said, that 57 Chevy probably doesn't meet safety standards. And, at what point do you just go, well, you know what, maybe we're going to take all vehicles older than 1998 without mandatory dual airbags off the road?
Well, that's
Or seatbelts or this or that. But then I think, well, motorcycles, What about motorcycles? Maine's helmet law. Maine doesn't even have a helmet law.
They're going after full-size passenger vans, but they don't have a helmet law.
I mean, they have their helmet law. I believe states if you're 15 years or older, it's not mandatory.
Yeah.
But
then why go after vans? Why go after the Delica?
Why go after a handful of these vans? Like, clearly there's some bureaucratic people not talking to each other.
Well, yeah, like you said, it's not Republican and Democrat, it's bureaucrat.
Right.
And bureaucrats, once they start to take control, they just take more control.
We went from a 6,000-mile road trip to a court.
And you haven't gotten home.
Yeah, we covered a broad spectrum of things here.
Yeah. I don't live there. I'm literally on the other side of the country. But I see this happening, and I do worry that, what if another state decides to take
Exactly. And SEMA itself, I think it's probably for almost 5 years now, they've been talking about some legislation that comes up every once in a while to restrict the things you can do to your street vehicle. They want to classify it as a race car if you do certain things. And if you do, you can't drive it on the street. You got to take it to the track. And so it takes out a whole lot of the aftermarket world. And it's impacted by that.
That modification makes it not on-roadable anymore,
according to those
rules. However minor that modification.
And at one time, it was even something as simple as the tires and wheels.
Right. And even at the tractor's regulations.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it wasn't to the point of taking the plates off. You can't drive this on the street anymore because you put new tires and wheels on it. So it's been going on quietly, and so it's a good thing you're bringing it out because, it's working. I mean, it's going to happen if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that's the reason why Andy mainly, has brought this to light and wants to keep sharing it with fine folks like you, with Autoblog, with the Truth About Cars, with other outlets, Pickup Truck and SUV Talk, and beyond. And hopefully they will start their own investigations and figure out what's going on. And hopefully all of us can rally together and be able to somehow reverse this or get them to understand this is a lot safer than a motorcycle,
it's a minivan.
Especially with somebody without a helmet or motor scooters or this or that are allowed on main streets, and let people enjoy their classic cars. If they have an old, an old Corvette that they want to drive around, or an old Shelby or whatever it may be, let them do that. If that's their whole will, to be able to have the classic car or an import vehicle that they legally brought in, that they have all the paperwork for, that was registered, and all of that. Let them have
Been driving it for 20 years.
It starts with the Delica, but it's going to expand.
Well, and that's what we're trying to prevent. I also understand that there's a difference between federal regulation and state regulation.
Right.
True.
States are the ones that are in charge of registration, not the feds. And so I think, in theory, if Maine decided they wanted to outlaw blue cars on Thursdays, they could probably do that.
Oh, don't do that.
Theoretically.
I know. That's almost
theoretically.
Worse.
Theoretically, yeah.
Theoretically.
But, that doesn't mean they're not going to get,
blowback.
Perhaps, have lawyers knocking on their door going, this is ridiculous.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but the state has unlimited funds to defend their position.
Yeah.
The plaintiffs don't.
And you're going to get a knock on your door in the middle of the night.
So I know that it's only a short time after 8 o'clock in the morning out there on the left coast. But what's for lunch today in the Lilienthal? Y'all got the barbecue set, or what are we having?
Whatever's left in the fridge, because we need to go grocery shopping.
Andy, I like your shirt. I love that shirt.
Thank you. Yeah, this is our Crankshaft Culture line of apparel. We've got T-shirts and sweatshirts and all kinds of things. You can find it at the shop tab on crankshaftculture.com.
That's a V8 crankshaft.
Is it a
four-cylinder? So,
but it's been outlawed.
It's got wide rod bearing.
Yeah, but see, that crankshaft's been outlawed in Maine.
Yeah, outlawed in Maine. Well, Andy and Mercedes, it's always great to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. We need to talk more often, and I don't like this 5-month gap.
We're always happy to be on.
Always happy. Thank you again for having us.
You bet. Y'all take care out there.
Thank you.
Andy and Mercedes Lilienthal.
Great
legislation.
people.
Yeah, we love to talk to them.
How silly to pick on that van of all vans.
But
I mean, I'm sure they could give us the number. There's probably less than a couple of thousand of them in the States.
If that. Yeah. Even because they're going to be imported. They can't come in.
Probably less than 100 of them in Maine.
Way less.
Time now for this hour's car review. I had an opportunity.
Huh.
It's me,
Yeah.
finally. I had the opportunity to drive the 2021 Genesis GV80. And you go, what?
Yeah.
First of all, I don't even know about a Genesis, much less a GV80. Well,
they're a band, aren't they?
which one? Genesis or the GV80?
Yeah. The guitar player's named GV80.
Okay. So the GV80 comes in standard, advanced, and prestige trim levels. The reviewed trim level is the all-wheel drive 3.5 turbo advanced. This is a small SUV, or as we like to call it in general terms, more mid-sized than small. This is all new for Genesis. This is the first SUV that they've ever built.
Oh, okay.
There's a picture of it.
Beautiful.
And,
Good looking. I remember seeing it in the drive. Very good looking.
It is very good looking. Great big Superman shield grille in the front of it. It's big. It's real big. Front fender vents and side marker lights combined on that. Look at that. Look at the grille on that thing.
Beautiful.
Isn't it? Sculpted lower valance panel, as you can see in that picture. Dual headlights. Did you see those thin little strips?
Yeah.
Those are the
Upward
headlights.
lowers.
Yep. What I liked about it, the sophisticated look of this thing.
Look like money.
I wanted to go and put on a tuxedo and drive this.
Did you valet park it?
I did not.
In his own driveway.
What could use improvement? Nothing. Loved the distinctive look. This is a different looking vehicle. Any way you look, yes, it's an SUV, but you ain't going to find another one that looks like
And
that.
the one you had,
nice.
I love the color.
I did
nice,
too.
yeah.
Interior highlights: extra large horizontal display screen on the center top of the dash. High Zoot instrument cluster.
Hi, Zoot.
High Zoot instrument cluster. Quilted leather seating surfaces. Quality trim, fit, and finish. Are you looking at it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
Cargo trunk room, adequate. What I liked, form over functionality is the rule with this vehicle. Look at that display screen. What could use improvement? The steering wheel control functions are a little confusing because they don't really tell you what it is. They're symbols, but like anything else,
You learn 'em.
You learn them and you get used to where they are. But it's part of the allure of this vehicle.
So is that display screen always up there like that, or does it rise and lower?
No, it's fixed. 3.5 liter V6 turbo with 375 horsepower.
That's
sir.
not bad at all.
Torque 391, 8-speed automatic transmission. Tow rating 6,000 pounds.
That's a lot.
It's significant. You'd look really good in your Chris Craft right behind it, towing
Okay.
that up to the lake.
That'll work.
Miles per gallon, 18 city, 23 highway, combined to 20. I got 22 over 310 miles. What I liked about it?
It's not bad.
Plenty of power, and it's smooth power too. No turbo lag in this. Ride and handling, fabulous, fabulous. It's not old school Buick-like soft.
Float.
It doesn't float. It doesn't float. I don't think anything could use improvement on this. Base trim, $59,150. Now, keep in mind, yes, this is an elevated price, but you're talking about a luxury vehicle here. $59,150. Price is tested. $65,775.
Not out of the park, though.
No, it's not. It's not. As a matter of fact, it compares nicely to the Lincoln Navigator, and this is cheaper.
Well, and I would say Genesis, Lexus, Infiniti, Lincoln,
Yeah.
Cadillac, Mercedes, BMW, those are all in the same genre.
Now you can get into this vehicle for the base price of $48,900. It compares nicely also to the Acura MDX for $46,900, the Audi Q7 for $54,950, and the BMW X5 for $59,400. And that is Don Armstrong's review of the Genesis GV80. Go check it out. If
You
you're in the
liked
market.
it.
Very nice.
Sounds like you liked it a lot.
Yeah, I did.
It was very nice.
I didn't get the cruise-in calendar in, so you want to do that now?
Sure.
as long as you don't extend it to 10 minutes or something.
Okay, so
you're talking to the wrong guy.
August the 1st is Coffee, Cars, and Donuts at the Whitehall Cafe in Navasota, Texas. That's 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. August the 8th is the Houston Performance Driving Twin Peaks meet in Webster at the Twin Peaks restaurant down there, and that's 11 to 3 p.m. on Sunday, August the 8th. Sunday, August the 29th is, again, Houston Cars and Cocktails at Little Woodrow's on 249. And remember, it's September 25th. We are at Woody's 3rd annual car show in San Leon at Topwater Grill.
There it is.
Very good. Man, my memory is not near as good as yours.
He pulled it out of his Conrad.
Out of his Conrad.
Because I didn't have that one written down.
That was very nice. And don't forget
Very
tailpipes and tacos.
Every third Saturday. Where do I get Thursday?
I don't know.
Every third Saturday of the month is Tailpipes and Tacos. Be there. Tacos.
And
mimosas.
Yep. All that.
Bloody Marys.
Bloody Marys. Good food.
Love those Bloody Marys.
Stay afterwards and
In
have
real
lunch.
time, we'll sign autographs.
All right, friends. Well, the reminder here is the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast source. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
When you're ready to shop Chevrolet, we know one that should be at the top of your list. Bayway. Locally owned by Houston-born and raised Daryl Wisniewski, Bayway brings a sense of family to your Chevrolet buying experience. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chevrolet is located only 8 minutes from the Beltway and Highway 288. Whether it's online or in person, you'll be welcomed like one of the family. BaywayChevrolet.com. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Wheel Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Just ahead, we talk about America's deadliest roads, and we're going to go to England to get the skinny on all of that. We'll have This Week in Auto History, get you updated on the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy along with Mike out of this world Mars. King Conrad DeLong, we need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us today. Thank you so much. Let's just get right over to jolly old England, shall we? And talk to Mr. Ben Williams. He is with a company called Teletrac Navman. And Ben, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. How are things over there in Great Britain today? Is the weather good?
You know what? It may come as a surprise, but actually, it's been a beautiful sunny day, so no complaints from over here. So we're just settling into a nice evening. So yeah, great over here, and yeah, I'm glad to be on with everybody, and thanks for having me on.
Well,
to talk with you about this content.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's 4:30 in the afternoon, in case you're wondering over there. Mm-hmm. So we appreciate it. There is just a slight time change, but so Ben. First of all, before we get into this, tell us a little bit about Teletrac Navman, maybe a 60-second synopsis of what Teletrac Navman does.
Yeah, for sure. So Teletrac Navman are basically, we're a data company. We focus on gathering data and information from vehicles and different assets that are used out in the field. And we gather that data, pull it back into software to enable businesses to get visibility of the vehicles themselves, to see how they're being used, how they're being driven, and to really drive safety initiatives and productivity initiatives within their organization. And we're really focused on helping businesses understand how can they make and help their drivers be safer, to create a much safer environment out there for everyone on the road.
So are most of your clients like 18-wheeler companies and that sort of thing?
A high proportion are, but there is a mix. So right through the 18-wheelers down to your service fleets, who are maintenance engineers, your plumbers, electrical contractors. There's a wide range. We really specialize in 18-wheeler fleets, especially when there's hours of service compliance and regulations. But we offer platforms and solutions for a whole wide spectrum of vehicle types.
Over there, they call them lorries.
Lorries, that's right. So a question for you. So how did you come up with America's Deadliest Roads?
Well, it's something we've done previously. We did a study 4 years ago, which was really well received in the US, and we thought we wanted to do this on a consistent basis. And the main thinking behind it is we're really focused on road safety, and our software and our technology is all designed to help businesses become safer. And one of the main reasons we do this type of data analysis and study is to help raise the awareness of safety and safety initiatives, and have conversations like we are today about road safety, and to bring it back to the fore to help everyone start to think about it. And this study itself looks at the fatalities per mile of interstates within the United States to grade and rank them based on how dangerous they are. And it gives some really interesting findings. And there's some really particular hotspots when you rank the roads in that way, that are worth looking at in more detail.
And how did you collect this data? Is this data that's reported from each state's DOT, federal DOT data? How did you collect this?
It's publicly available federal data that we have then pulled in other data sources around interstates and interstate length to enable us to calculate this index that shows us how deadly these roads are.
And so not only do you have the data for particular states, but also nationally. And with that data, are you able to tell your clients, hey, look, you would probably be better served if you avoided this particular interstate in this particular state, because the accident rate is huge here?
Yeah, I mean, potentially that's something that you could push into the technology, and the broader sort of thinking around technology and IoT and transportation is growing all the time. And there's things that we can even do with weather fronts. So when weather fronts are coming in, we can actually change or tell drivers to change course to avoid weather fronts for safety reasons and productivity reasons. So there's a whole range of different ways that we can help drivers out on the road stay safe, return home safely to their families, and also help businesses stay productive.
Well, there's a show that comes out of Canada called something along
Rescue 401.
Rescue 401.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a stretch of roadway up there on the 401 in British Columbia, and I'm going, man, I don't ever want to be on that thing, especially in the wintertime.
Well, I think we may have that stretch in Houston, because from what I understand, one of his roads that's most deadliest is here in Texas.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. And I believe that road that Conrad's referring to is Interstate 45.
It is, yeah, Interstate 45. Well, Texas is actually quite interesting. It's actually the state with the most roads within the top 25 of the most dangerous in the United States. 8 of the top 25 are actually based within Texas, and the I-45 really stands out. And in our index, it has a 0.913 fatalities per mile over the time period of 2016 to 2019. That has it in position number 2. So it is actually a particularly dangerous interstate, and the most dangerous place in there is in Houston, Texas.
Well, we're trying hard to get to number 1.
Yeah, we got to beat them.
You've got to get past the I-4, so there's a little bit of way to go there. They're definitely out on their own by quite some way down in Florida.
Yeah, I-4 is between Tampa and Orlando.
Yeah.
Brutal.
It is.
Well, I will say this, and I said this earlier on in our 3-hour show here, that I made a little road trip a couple of weeks ago from Houston to Mobile, Alabama, and it's about a 500-mile trip. Did it on I-10, and we headed from Houston to Mobile eastbound, and 500 miles. And I'll tell you what, I did not realize how much the traffic pattern has changed in the past 10 years on I-10, but it is brutal, and you better be on your toes because you could easily wind up in an accident if you're really not focused on driving, but on the cell phone or, trying to calm the kids down in the back seat. You really need to pay attention.
Yeah, and I mean, most of my driving experience in the U.S. has been in California, and obviously experience in the I-5 that ranks it. Well, I haven't had an invite yet, unfortunately, but it's on the I-5, and some of the roads on here are significantly more dangerous than that. So yeah, it's definitely a case of being vigilant on these roads whilst driving and avoiding distractions key.
Well, let's extrapolate this a little bit and go, okay, Ben, so Teletrack Navman, I pay for your services, and I run a route several times a day between Houston and Dallas on I-45. What are you going to tell me now that you know that this is one of the most dangerous roads, not only in America, but also in Texas?
I think the first thing that I would talk about is looking at how they're behaving and how they're driving. So the technology that we offer enables you to understand how a driver's driving. Are they speeding? Are they doing aggressive event activities such as aggressive acceleration, harsh braking? But with some of the latest technology, especially around cameras, it also enables you to understand whether they're distracted behind the wheel. Are they on the phone? Are they eating? Are they even fatigued by looking at yawning? I mean, you even can detect forward-facing, whether they're tailgating and following too far in front. So my main tip would be drive with care, and we try and support them through gathering information about how they're driving and put in place coaching to help train them to be safe along that dangerous stretch.
Well, it used to be that truck, I don't know whether it is anymore, but truck speed limits usually were about 10 miles an hour slower than a passenger car speed limits. But what they found was that it was more of a hindrance and created more accidents to have a 10-mile-an-hour an overtake speed. And so, if the truck is doing 10 miles an hour underneath the speed limit, that alone can cause accidents. Well, I don't know how it is over there in England, but I can tell you here, if you're not doing 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, you're going to get run over.
You're in the way.
And so when you're dealing with 18-wheelers and you're advising them, do you advise them to run the speed limit, or do you say keep up with the traffic pace?
I mean, it's a difficult one to say. I mean, you never want to encourage someone to break the laws, but from a safe perspective, I think the pace of traffic is also always important. So, it's a very difficult one to say. And on the question of what it's like over here, yeah, it's exactly the same. If you're not 10 miles an hour over, you're causing a problem on the roads. But it's a very difficult one to answer. As I said, I think
liability. You can't really tell them to speed. Right.
My question to that point, the speed limits. There's so many different speed limits here in Texas. You go to West Texas, and 85 miles an hour is a posted speed limit.
I-45 is 75.
Exactly. When you get out of a certain demographic of people.
When you get north of Conroe all the way to...
The population lessens and the speed limit goes up. So does that play into the analysis that you have?
No, you don't have anything that sort of factors in different speed limits. But I think it's a really interesting point, because speed and traffic density obviously are factors that come into how dangerous places are and likelihood for accidents. And speeding is speeding and distracted driving is the number one causes for accidents in the United States. So, staying to the speed limit and doing what we can there is important. But, I agree with the comment there that it needs to be a collective view on not speeding. One person not speeding and everyone else speeding does become equally dangerous.
So you talked about gathering this data. Do you put a piece of hardware in these fleets that you service and to gather the vehicle driver information, the vehicle action information, or are you going off of cell phone, GPS stuff? How do you guys gather that data out of the fleets that you service?
Yeah, there's a very wide range of methods of gathering the data. The principal way that we use is to have a device that would be installed in the vehicle, and it would be connected to gather the ignition cycles. It would gather engine diagnostic data. It would gather gyro data to enable us to understand harsh events and activities. Then all of those events, activities, GPS data are transmitted back into the software platform.
So you're actually plugging into the serial data of the computers of the vehicle.
Correct. Yeah, okay. And along with that, you also get engine diagnostics that enable you to understand things around maintenance requirements, events, alerts that have happened in the vehicle. And one of the other things that we do outside of safety is around maintenance planning and scheduling, and gathering that information and having it available in a head office can really support those activities as well.
So is this data, this vehicle data, is this live fed to you, or when the truck comes back in for maintenance, it's downloaded?
It's in real time. So there's in the device in the vehicle there's a SIM, and the data is transmitted in real time. So in the technology, you can actually there's a feature called drone view. You can actually see a vehicle traveling along if you so wish. You can get events at the minute someone crossed the specific borderline and things like that. So yeah, it's real-time data that's transmitted back.
So you could call into the truck and say, "Hey, slow down."
You could, but the technology is sort of advanced enough to do that for you. It could normally detect that, and it would automatically then do an audible alert to the driver.
Decrease the speed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I could also see if the vehicle got off track, if somebody said, hey, this vehicle didn't show up an hour ago like it was supposed to, where is it?
Like the ambulance last night.
Yeah, or the other night.
So, yeah, exactly. You can see the routes where drivers are. If you've got a delivery to make and it was supposed to be there at 10 a.m., you can trigger an event to say, has it been delivered yet? Yes or no, check, and then find where the vehicle is and all that type of stuff.
So we're looking at a map, basically, of Southeast United States, and we can see all of the yellow, orange, dark orange, and of Texas. And the only real red you have says Houston I-45. Is there a segment of Houston I-45 between mile marker X and mile marker X that drove that data, or is it just I-45 in Houston?
It's I-45 is I said the second most dangerous interstate, and Houston is the city along that interstate that has the most fatal accidents.
So in between. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I mean, basically, some of the stuff I read, it was measuring between Conroe and Galveston, which literally is Houston.
And that can be a 3-hour drive in some instances.
I don't see any green on this map.
No.
Well, this is just looking at the 25 worst. So I don't know if any of them are quite warrant being green, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, that's the way it is. We've had a tremendous influx in population in the state of Texas here in the past 3, 4, 5 years. And so
from multiple locations.
And from what, we see, there is no additional lanes being added to I-45 that I am aware of anywhere in the Houston area. So you get all of these cars running down the freeway at 60, 70 miles an hour, all packed up on 3 or 4 lanes going into town.
And somebody comes to a stop because they want to make a right, but they're in the left-hand lane, and everything jams up behind them except for, Tony, who's looking at his phone, who smashes into the back of Mary, and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point around population and traffic density and road infrastructures catching up. I think that could be a huge contributing factor.
Yeah. Well, is there a place where the public can go to Teletrac Navman and gather up some general information on this?
Yeah, so our website is teletracnavman.com, which is TeletracNavman.com. I know it's a little long, so I thought I'd spell it out. Or you could just Google Teletrac Navman. It might be easier. There's actually quite a lot of other resources similar to this that do other data analysis. One of the interesting things we did previously was around COVID and the impact that COVID had on driving behaviors, with the roads being so quiet. And that's quite an interesting piece that showed significant rises in speeding, stop sign violations, and harsh acceleration. That was a different data set that we pulled from our software platform. But if people are interested, go and take a look. It makes for interesting reading.
Well, I'll tell you what, this has been a real education, and it's a real joy and pleasure to talk to you. And thank you so much for joining us on your day off.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll...
Hey, Ben.
Go drink a pint for us, would you?
Yeah. Where did you say you were at?
I am just north of Birmingham right now, so right in the middle of the UK.
Okay, my uncle that I was telling you about before we started, he was in a town called Welwyn Garden City, 20 miles north of London.
Yeah, I know the place. Yeah. It's actually a beautiful little town, Welwyn Garden City.
Is that near Piccadilly Square?
Park.
Yeah.
No.
A little bit away.
Well, I hope that you're a Beatles fan, because we are, and we thank you again for joining us today.
I'm a Rolling Stones fan.
Petula Clark for me.
Ben, thanks again. We appreciate it.
Thank
Ben
you.
Williams, Teletrac Nav Man. Great information.
I was going to say great information.
Yeah, it truly is. All right. Time now for This Week in Automotive History. And we always look forward to this. I hope that you've got something good, and I hope that all of your slides are in order today. Don't blame it on Jeff, because we know that
we're going to go to A and Q shows up.
I think we should be good.
All right.
So
here we go.
In 1904, Louis Rigoli, driving a 15-liter Gabron Barrel in Belgium,
Gabron, isn't that a monkey?
Yep. Gabron.
They're not legal in Maine.
Drove this vehicle to over 100 miles an hour.
Oh, my God.
Creating a land speed record in 1904. How scary had that been?
It's not legal in Maine.
In 1911, it's not legal in Maine. In 1911, General Motors organized GMC Truck to handle the sales of GM's Rapide and Reliance products, and then joined them together for GMC Truck. And actually, back then in those days, some of those were actually chain-driven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. GMC stands for God Made Chevrolet.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Also in 1911, James Robertson of Toledo, Ohio, received a patent for the terminal clamp and he was working for Champion Spark Plug Company at the time.
Cool.
So that was Champion's first patent on the battery side of things. In 1917, Rapp Motorwork was renamed to Bavarian Motorworks. Rapp Motorwork was one of the first aircraft engine manufacturers in Germany. So in 1914, they were making the Red Barons.
Rapp. They call him the Rapper.
But they were making the engine for the Red Baron.
And, is that Tupac or is that
no,
Jay-Z?
No, it's not Tupac. It's neither of them. It's a pack and a half. In 1925, Sir Malcolm Campbell did 150 miles an hour in his Sunbeam, a two-way average. Wait
a minute, it's a steam?
No. I said
Misspoke.
Sunbeam.
Sunbeam.
Sunbeam was the name of the car.
That's a scary
And it was
looking
on the
thing.
sands in Wales. This wasn't like at Bonneville or something. This guy's doing 150 miles an hour in that. Notice.
No helmet.
Well, this isn't a picture of the car at the time, but, no seatbelt either.
Yeah.
No roll cage.
And he's in a suit.
No mask.
They always drove in suits.
No mask. In 1934, Harold Ames filed a patent application for his retractable headlights. The design would later become one of the defining details of Ames's most triumphant product, the Cord 810.
Beautiful.
Which the chief executive Duesenberg asked the Cord designer Gordon Bering to make a baby version of a Duesenberg, and that's where the Cord 810 came from.
I'll be darned.
Such a beautiful car.
Nice.
Got to remember that was also a front-wheel drive, 8-cylinder supercharged engine with hideaway headlights. Very, very advanced for its time. And then in 1935, the first automatic parking meter, the Park-O-Meter, was invented by Carl McGee and was installed in Oklahoma City by the Dual Parking Meter Company.
And he was shot and killed about 2 weeks later.
Is that the first meter maid?
That's the first meter maid.
Okay.
Rita, the meter maid.
Rita. Lovely
Rita.
They
Rita
gave 20-foot spaces that were painted on the pavement, and the parking meter accepted nickels that for payments. And now they've gotten much more complicated. They do Apple Pay and all kinds of goofy stuff to get all your money.
Just don't pay.
And it's a whole lot more than a nickel.
Let them catch you.
And then in 1987, on the 40th anniversary of Ferrari, they released the F40 at the factory in Maranello.
Wow.
It had a 2.9-liter twin-turbo V8 under the hood, and it was Italy's first production sports car to top 200 miles an hour.
Very cool.
Capable of 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, and could hold a top speed of 201 miles an hour.
Oh.
And I believe there's 2 of those here in town, and one of them shows up to some of the Coffee and Cars events with some regularity. And that is this week in automotive history.
Very cool.
A couple of more automotive stories that I need to get in before we close out today. Volkswagen of America confirmed that it is going to drop the slow-selling U.S. Passat sedan after the 2022 model to boost plans to build electric vehicles at its Chattanooga assembly complex. Tesla, Consumer Reports said Tuesday that Tesla's full self-driving software lacks safeguards and raised concerns the system's use on public roads puts the public at risk, citing reports from drivers. The influential consumer publication cited videos posted on social media of drivers using it and raised concerns such as vehicles missing turns, scraping against bushes, and heading toward parked cars. In April, Consumer Reports said its engineers were able to defeat safeguards on Tesla's autopilot and get out of the driver's
So
seat.
in that light, autonomous vehicle technology startup Argo AI and its backer and Ford plan to launch 1,000 self-driving autonomous Lyft ride-handling network vehicles and starting in Miami and Austin, Texas.
Huh.
Austin, perfect. That's perfect.
That's 2 Austin mentions today.
Tesla plans to open its network of superchargers to other electric vehicles later this year, according to Elon.
For a fee.
Of course. They are all for a fee. The electric car maker's fast-charging network with over 25,000 superchargers globally has given it a competitive edge. They're already there. Just make a different kind of plugger, and away you go. So I'm sure that everybody will be looking forward to that, including me, because I know I'll be getting more electrics in the near future.
And you'll just have to figure out where they are.
And the $10 per charge for 80%.
The 4.2 smart car.
At EVgo. That's not cheap. But at least it gets me some...
Takes you longer to charge it up than you get when you go to the gas station.
Oh, Lord, dude. Yeah, anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes.
You just need to put it at a restaurant. And then you go into the restaurant
or,
and get your charge.
as a matter of fact, at First Colony Mall, if you park outside of Macy's down there, they've got free chargers.
Okay.
Why didn't I know that? Why didn't the car tell me there's a free charger over there?
That's by Grimaldi's, on the other side of Grimaldi's, yeah.
So you just need to go to Macy's all the time.
And then wait in line like everybody else to get in line to
order
get
a pie,
charged.
drink
Well, they have
wine.
chargers out at Intercontinental Airport, too, at the park and ride.
It's
Hot
the easy go.
We need to take a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Show.
Alrighty.
We'll be right back to close things out.
Whether you own a newer car or want to keep your older one humming along for a while longer, think of Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln to keep things in tip-top shape. From oil changes to major repairs, you can depend on the highly skilled service pros at Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevrolet, and Bayway Lincoln to perform fast, efficient service to keep your investment running strong. For all your service needs, remember Bayway. Schedule your next appointment online anytime. Bayway, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Wheel Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Well, that's a wrap for another episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. When you're on Facebook, give us a like, if you will. Tell your friends about us. Share our junk. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast outlet. Special thanks to all of our guests today, which we had a great lineup. Thank you, Mr. Mars, for that.
Stuff.
The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Manager and Video Technical Director, this guy here. We need more Jeff Zekin. For booking agent, podcast man, Mike Out of This World Mars. His royalty, King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. Hey, be sure and join us each and every Saturday for our 3-hour live broadcast across a multitude of audio and video streaming platforms. And podcasts are available, as we said, at your favorite provider. Today's show was produced by the Houston Heat. You are on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Have a great, safe weekend, and we'll see you back here next Saturday from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Take care.